That works.
All right, perfect.
All right, now I'll start with the opening now.
All right.
I'll do the intro.
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing this. We're freaking doing this.
Wait. Do you want to do the opening or should I?
I was kind of thinking you should. I don't know. Do you want to?
I mean, I want to do, but I thought you were going to. So like,
I can do it.
This is not going in the audio. I want you.
No, it should. Leave it in. Leave it in. Leave some of it in. I can do it if you want.
All right.
No, I got it. I've been thinking in my head on how I want to open this like all week.
Okay, yeah, I have like a vague idea. So you go ahead. You go ahead.
Hello, everyone. We are live from America, Britain, and Canada, respectively. I hope calling it Britain is okay because I do not know the specifics there.
Live from the United Kingdom.
The politically
Is this still part of the United Kingdom? With the Brexit thing, I'm all confused.
Oh god, that's not going to the whole thing or that.
Okay,
that's just gonna take that's gonna take
the Socially Anxious Podcast, first episode, politics.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Please.
So, I just want to put out there, suck on my Star-Spangled Ding Dong.
No, what?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
I'm the Homelander, and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, well, what's a Canadian suit? We got Wolverine, bitch.
Dude, Wolverine would body Homelander, like, jokes aside.
He would, though. Would you, bib?
Okay.
What I do, bib?
I had to do the bit because I was watching Gen V before I got in here.
Oh, how is that?
Gen V's amazing.
Yeah?
Like, genuinely fucking good shit. The 6th episode just dropped, like, earlier this week, and it goes so fucking hard.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been meaning to catch up on, like, live-action TV. There's One Piece, there's Ahsoka, there's Gen V. I've been watching the new Loki season. It's really good. But,
I've been meaning to pick that up. Honestly, I've been meaning to... Because I've watched the first season, like, rewatched it recently just to catch up again. Because, honestly, I couldn't remember a single thing about the first season for some reason. I enjoyed it so much.
Weird.
But I still need to watch... No, I was just going to end with, like, I need to, like, actually sit down, watch the second season.
I mean, there's not much to sit down because it's still coming out, like, weekly. But it's pretty good so far. I'm liking it. It's just, like, typical Marvel stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm a little tired. I just woke up, so
bless you.
Now, to be fair, now we've got a little past the intro bit, the joke with the Brexit. I want to quickly just say, hello. This is the first episode of the Socially Anxious Podcast. That is the name. We are sticking with it.
Yeah, I like it. That was my idea. Part
it's good.
So, I feel like we should go around, introduce ourselves, because I feel like whoever's watching this has a good chance of only knowing one of us. Hi, I'm the one you probably know the most.
Well, that's presumptuous.
Well, I see how it is.
Wow.
Me and Taco will just we'll just sit in the corner over there.
Yeah, where the freaking albatross is hanging around your neck.
See, the actual joke there is that Taco has more followers than me.
I shouldn't. Oh, hold on. Wally's muted. Oh.
No, sorry, I was coughing. It's okay.
Oh, no worries. I shouldn't have more followers. That's the problem.
No, you deserve it.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
stop that.
All right. I won't let my imposter syndrome get in the way of this.
Listen, only one person can have the imposter syndrome, and I have the imposter stick. Thank you.
Are you sus?
Anyway.
All right. That's my bid, everybody. I will be leaving. Goodbye. Have a great evening. Anyway. Okay.
But anyway, I'm Dove from the Mistress Dove channel. I do videos, very verbose videos, usually talking about video games. Nobody watches my videos, but I do them.
You should watch her videos.
This is true. I approve this message. Also, give me money so I can live.
And pay us.
This is
pay
true.
us, yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I told myself I'm not going to
No, you're fine.
Talk over everybody.
So that's basically my intro. So I'm going to throw it over to Taco. He can go next, and then we'll go Whalley after.
What up, y'all? Thank you, Dove. What up, y'all? I'm Taco. I do way too many things. I do art. I do all the art for Dove's YouTube channel. I do commissions online, and what I'm hopefully most known for is, I'm probably most known for my YouTube channel too. I do animations online. You probably remember me from a stupid Batman, I have a Pokemon animation, or one of the other dumb things I've made, but
they might know you for the Green Goblin weed one.
Oh, the Green Goblin weed one.
That's
that
a
one's
good one
too. It's always the one I put the least effort into, or the one where Spider-Man has all the different Spider-Man from the different dimensions where he has a gun. Basically, I take other people's audio that they work hard making and I animate over it. But what I'm also hopefully most known for is my awesome webcomic Obsidian Blaze, which y'all should read because it's really, really good.
Seriously, read it.
And probably the best thing I've ever made.
Oh.
Also, fairly recently, he has a couple pages that are his audition to write for Spider-Man. Which, by the way, take him up on the offer. We need the fucking Spider-Man comics to get good again.
You really think I could write for Spider-Man?
I mean this in the nicest way I can. Yes, I do. But also, anyone could do a better job than what's going on right now. What the fuck?
Fuck Zeb Wells. All right. Zeb Wells can fucking make the best content possible for the next 1,000 years, and I will never forgive him for what he's doing to Spider-Man right now.
Fucking Paul! It's fucking Paul!
This makes me glad Paul. I'm not up to date.
Sorry, Whalley, what was good?
I was just saying that with how bad you're talking about the most recent Spider-Man comics, I'm glad I'm not up to date on my comic books.
I haven't read much of it. I've read like the first start of the current run, and I just had to drop it. The one thing that I liked, there's a new villain who's like the super adaptoid, but he has all the memories of the Sinister Six. It's the Sinister Adaptoid, and that's a pretty cool idea. But that's it. That's the only good thing in the current Spider-Man run.
So much of the current Spider-Man comics are weird. For one, Peter's not with MJ anymore. She's currently with a guy named Paul.
And that's fine.
Oh, I've heard this, yes.
Then, no. But the other thing is, nobody in Peter's life is allowed to not have powers anymore. Basically, everyone he knows is a super. Fucking Mary Jane is Ben 10 right now.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no. Basically, Mary Jane has this power. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but she can basically she just has power. Has the ability, like adaptive powers that give her whatever she needs. It's very weird.
Okay, I don't really like that, but I shouldn't talk because I really like it when MJ has a symbiote. Sorry, you should censor that because that's a spoiler.
Don't worry, I'll put the fucking Weezer guitar riff over it like.
That's a great idea. Also,
love you, she.
Sorry, what were we gonna say?
No, I was just making sure, the off chance cartoon she heard that joke. I wanted to know. Love the guy. Good shit.
Sorry. We talked over Whalley. Let's let him give his intro.
Oh, it's my turn. Yes. So hello, I'm the British one. I'm Whalley. I do various YouTube stuff like Mistress Dove. I create videos on video games and the occasional movies if I really feel up to watching a piece of trash again. But I also edit for the lovely Mistress Dove too. So if you haven't watched any of her videos, please do. I put a lot of time and effort in them.
Wally's also the reason I was able to get Mandalore in a video that one time.
Yes, because I, for some reason, befriend some famous YouTubers. I don't know how it happens, honestly.
It's like, I have this awesome connection, and Wally's able to get me a cameo for Mandalore, a YouTuber who's way more successful than me. So then my solution is to give him like 2 lines max in the video.
He's such a lovely man.
Y'all are gonna yell at me, but who's Mandalore?
Get out.
Jokes aside, he basically just does game videos on YouTube. He predominantly does PC games.
Okay. I think I've heard... I remember you were talking about him. You were like, Taco, guess what I got in the video? And I'm like, what? I just woke up. You were like shaking me. And you were like,
I don't know why, but I could just imagine like Taco just sees the message saying, I got Mandalore game. You're like, oh, great. Who?
See, I'm imagining that one scene from Justice League Unlimited where it's like, Lex Luthor takes off the Flash as Matt.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea who this is.
I was thinking Spider-Man No Way Home where Tobey Maguire's like, the Avengers? That's great.
Yeah, that's what I was... That's what I was imagining.
I love that scene. That's me whenever my friend comes out to me as an LGBT thing I don't understand. Like, that's great. What is that? I hope that joke wasn't offensive. I love all people.
For the audience who don't get the joke, basically what Taco is saying is that he's not 100% educated on everything. However, he is supportive 100%, which I believe is a commendable quality.
I don't need to understand it. As long as you're happy, that's fine. I don't need to get it.
See, there's a level of self-awareness here that the vast majority of the population lacks.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm glad I'm doing good. Okay.
Now, so here's a wild thing, crazy thing about all this. We were gonna record this yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But the crazy fucking thing about it is, I have to remember when we record this, because more than likely it'll at least be a week before the video's edited and put together, because, you know, there's assets for that. There's, like, stuff that needs to be made before the video can be properly finished.
That I need to draw, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And also then I have to edit the whole thing, and then also, you know, Whalley has to set up, like, the Patreon for the channel. So we all got shit we need to do to get this out. So I gotta remember that today is the 22nd of October.
Wait, it's the 22nd of October?
It is. What's that special for?
Oh god, I'm late for my sister's birthday. No, I'm joking. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was...
This bitch!
Wait. Am I missing something?
No, that was just me being an asshole. But
okay.
It was yesterday, funny enough, her birthday. So don't worry.
Happy birthday, Whally's sister.
He's doing Le Funny Meme.
Oh.
I just thought of smiling
that's
friends. I missed my daughter's wedding for this.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about this with you briefly on the subject of Spider-Man, by the way. I was watching Godzilla Mendoza's recent video on the 2017 Spider-Man cartoon. You know, the one everyone forgets?
Right. It's not good. It's really not.
No. What's funny about the video, though, is he does acknowledge that it's not good, but he openly admits he thinks it's better than Ultimate was as a show.
Okay, them's fucking fighting. Wait, no, Ultimate Spider-Man the show? No, okay, never mind.
Yes, of course the show. We're talking about cartoons here.
Look, I know. Sorry, I'm very tired, and Ultimate Spider-Man's my favorite comic run. So I was like, "What the fuck did you say?"
No.
Oh no, Tucker's getting the crowbar.
Yeah, no.
This is specifically comparing the 2017 show to the Ultimate cartoon,
I know,
which, by the way, is basically just Ultimate Spider-Man in name only.
It really is. It really is. With worse animation.
Like, the only thing that Ultimate Spider-Man really is comparable to the comics it's named after is, like, certain designs, but even then, they, like... It doesn't look like Bagley's art.
It really doesn't, and that's really disappointing, because when I Google Ultimate Spider-Man, the show comes up, because it's way more popular than the comics. And, like, it has nothing, it shares nothing in comparison. And it was gonna be a more mature, like... And it was gonna, like, adapt Bagley's art and, like, adapt the comic directly. Like, it was gonna be really cool. And then they didn't do that, which is really disappointing. But, I mean...
You know why they did that, right?
Well, because it's Marvel, and they don't... They want to be funny and, like, tie it in with...
No, there's a specific reason.
Huh?
There's a specific reason. Basically, Marvel had... okay, so here's the thing. As you know, Spectacular Spider-Man was the last cartoon produced by Sony. That wasn't, like, a Disney-related show, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And their goal with Ultimate Spider-Man was that to avoid comparisons, they were going to avoid doing anything Spectacular did.
Oh, what? Well,
So essentially, because Spectacular took a lot of...
Avoid everything Spectacular did, so avoid doing Spider-Man?
The way I always word it is avoid everything Spectacular did, so avoid being good. Spectacular Spider-Man is up there with the 90s animated series for what I would consider the best Spider-Man cartoon.
I haven't seen enough of it. I really haven't. Like, I need to watch. It's on Disney Plus here in Canada. I don't know if it is in the US, but I really need to.
The thing is, Ultimate Spider-Man was created as a desire for Disney to start fresh with a show that they owned, and to avoid like brand confusion, they wanted to try to make it stand out.
Of course.
That's why so much of Ultimate Spider-Man doesn't have a lot in common with Spectacular as a show.
Right.
But the problem with this is that Spectacular was basically just Spider-Man at its core.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a pure Spider-Man
like
experience.
Peak Spider-Man.
So to do the opposite of that would be to essentially just be a worse Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And we saw the result of that.
Yeah, really, like, for real. It's...
Hell, we even got a worse actor playing Peter. Because, like, here's the thing.
Who was it again?
Say what you...
It was Drake Bell,
It was Drake
right?
Bell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yo, okay, sorry to interrupt, but are you guys familiar with Disney Infinity?
Yeah.
So...
Yes.
I was obsessed with it when I was younger, and the second game in the series was based on Marvel. And they have, for those who don't know, Disney Infinity was Disney's like answer to Skylanders. So, which were like, you get like the toys, and kind of Amiibo too. You get the toys, and actually Amiibo came later, but the toys interact with the game. So like, if you want to play as Jack Sparrow, you grab the Jack Sparrow toy. If you want to play as Lightning McQueen, you grab the Lightning McQueen toy, kind of thing. And there's the toy box, which is like a sandbox, kind of like, it's actually, it's a bit like Roblox, because you get to like build your own games, and that, or games or levels or whatnot. And then there's play sets, which are based on, they're like kind of story modes, and they're based on actual Disney movies or properties. And you can't bring Lightning McQueen into the Monsters Inc. world or whatnot, for example. Like, everyone's kind of specific to their world. The toy box everyone can play, but the specific play sets are their own thing. But in the second one, they brought in Marvel characters, and all the Spider-Man stuff is based on Ultimate Spider-Man. So they have Drake Bell come back to play Spider-Man, and they had like Nova and Iron Fist as other characters you could play as. And I think they had the Green Goblin, which means they had that really shitty, like, weird Hulk-looking Green Goblin design, which I don't like.
Oh no, really? Did they
local man calls Ultimate Spider-Man his favorite comic run. Immediately says he doesn't like its Green
No,
Goblin.
No. That the Green Goblin in that. Okay, you know what? I don't like the Green Goblin in the comics either. To be honest, he's too hulky. I don't like that. I didn't like him in Into the Spider-Verse either.
See, okay, but Into the Spider-Verse, you got there's at least credit to that, because it was just because Miles is in the Ultimate Universe, technically.
I see why they did it. Also, while we're talking about Spider-Man, the best Green Goblin is from the Broadway show Turn Off the Dark. I really... No, I'm not joking around.
I know you're not joking around. You're not the first person who's actually come up to me and said, "Oh, I really like these stage Green Goblin." I'm like,
really?
Oh, okay.
I thought I was the only one.
No. I've got a friend of mine who talks about it almost religiously.
That's incredible.
And he's actually said that he wishes he's an artist so he can draw like his own like changes and stuff like that. Like, just not to change it, but put his style onto the whole thing.
I did that too recently. I drew so they made up a new villain for the Broadway show named Swiss Miss, and I drew her recently, kind of in my own style. If I ever get to write for Spider-Man, I'm bringing Swiss Miss into the comics.
Oh, please do.
I will. But yeah, I really do like the version of Norman Osborn in the Broadway show, because, and I'm not even kidding, I read a book about this, the kind of the disaster behind the Spider-Man musical. Julie Taymor did not like Willem Dafoe's portrayal as the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1. What she did like was Alfred Molina as Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. So she was like, let's just do that.
Okay.
That's literally what it is.
Ignoring the heresy that is not liking Willem Dafoe Green Goblin for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, you can be mad at Julie Taymor for that. She made a lot of weird decisions.
But see, I wanted to bring up with the Green Goblin thing. I was actually bringing up the voice acting with Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man, the show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Drake Bell's just not a good actor. Like, I mean that as rudely as I can. I would normally be nice about it, but Drake Bell's...
He sucks. No, he sucks. See, I want to say, like, he's okay, but, like, he's a dick, so... Like, fuck Drake Bell.
No, he's not only a dick, he's a public danger and a criminal.
Yeah, no, he sucks.
like I sound like J. Jonah Jameson out here, but like being for real, 100%, he's a fucking menace.
Oh yeah, no, fuck Drake Bell. But I don't know. I thought he was okay as Spider-Man.
See, the thing is, what I don't like about Drake Bell as Spider-Man is that he doesn't know how to act. Like again, I'm putting away the fact that he's a creepy sex weirdo for 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, actually, not a weirdo. He's a fucking pest.
Yeah.
It's a degree above. Like, Drake Bell doesn't work as Spider-Man because he says everything like he's quipping. Literally every sentence sounds
yeah, you
like
were talking
he's
to me
quipping.
about this. You said what?
Even when he's Peter Parker talking normally, he sounds like he's quipping because he's still doing the Drake Parker character from fucking Drake and Josh because it's the only thing Drake Bell knows how to play. Like, I say this as nicely as I can. I don't even think he was good as young Ericus, and like honestly.
Oh yeah, he's in Kingdom Hearts.
He's in KH3 specifically, and he won't be in any other.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
If young Ericus comes back, I want fucking Josh Peck to play.
That'd be so fucking funny.
That'll be the best middle finger.
I have 3 things to add on to that now, if you'll permit me. First of all, Josh Peck was so fucking good in Oppenheimer, and I barely recognized him.
He's just a phenomenal actor.
He's fantastic.
Honestly, he's like he went on the opposite path Drake did. It's crazy.
He went from screaming spherical to like building another spherical bomb.
It's like it is in fact spherical.
It's spherical. Fuck. There's a meme somewhere. Oppenheimer's like, what shape are we gonna make this bomb? And Josh Peck goes spherical. Anyway,
it's also funny.
Sorry, what was the other thing I was?
No, you go.
I forgot the other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Drake Bell. He was in superhero movie as the Firefly or Dragonfly, and I feel like he was a better Spider-Man in that than he was in the cartoon.
Well, yeah. What's funny? Okay, so superhero movie is a weird movie for me since we're on that topic now because I think it's actually funny.
It's so fucking funny. It's actually so funny.
The best joke is still the one where it's like his uncle's trying to like find out how his uncle fires a nail at him and he fucking dodges it and he's like, how'd you do that? And he's like, I guess it's not all that hard. So he just fucking like shoots Kevin Hart in the hand and it's like, I don't know, that looks like it wasn't all that easy.
There's the second thing that happens in that bit where he's like, all right, throw punch me as hard as you can, as fast as you can. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, I can take it. And then he punches Kevin Hart instead. Leslie Nielsen was a fucking treasure. We lost him too soon. Well, I mean, actually, no, we didn't, but we lost him, and that's sad. He was like 90 or whatever, Nielsen, so we didn't really lose him too soon, but with the fact that we lost him at all is bad.
Leslie Nielsen is funny as fuck in that movie. There's a really good bit from that movie where, like, it's like, we can get fame, fortune, don't forget the bitches. There's not gonna be fame, and there's not gonna be any bitches.
And
I love that bit. I love that bit because I brought up Godzilla Mendoza earlier. Yeah. In his Ultimate Spider-Man video, he actually synced that audio up to footage from that show where it's a scene with Miles, Uncle Ben, and Peter, and it is just so fucking funny.
That is. Wait a minute, Miles and Uncle Ben. That doesn't. What show is this?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Why is Miles hanging out with Uncle Ben?
They did a multiverse plot on the show.
Okay, no, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah, they did a multiverse. By the way, Ultimate Spider-Man did give us Donald Glover playing Miles.
That was
nice.
That's right.
That was good.
That's right. Okay.
But like the thing is, it's kind of funny though because Donald Glover would continue to be associated with Miles in Marvel content after that because he's also Uncle Aaron in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
He was the fucking Prowler. I love seeing him in the Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they basically confirmed he's the MCU Prowler.
He even looks like he has like an MCU suit too. It's awesome.
Yeah, they went through all this effort.
I just real quick, the other thing I wanted to say, and you're going to argue with me about this, I know you are. When you were talking about Drake Bell's Spider-Man, how he's like quipping constantly, I would argue, and this is just in the second one, but I would argue that Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is very similar with how sarcastic he is the whole movie. Like, just his performance. You're allowed to agree with me. You're allowed to agree with me on this. And maybe it's just because I haven't seen Amazing Spider-Man 2 in a while, but I just remember him being very, like, having this kind of sarcastic inflection in his voice the whole movie.
You're not wrong. I'm not going to disagree with you. But here's my thing. There's two factors that make it less bad than Drake Bell as Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. The first factor is Andrew Garfield's a better actor.
Absolutely.
But the other thing is that they actually let Andrew Garfield's Peter have any scenes where he's, like, upset or angry or any other emotion.
Oh, so it's the Sonic in the comics, like IDW comic. I think it's IDW comics where, like, because of a certain artist, Ken Penders, they like won't they won't let him show any emotion or something like that.
Yeah, but okay. So to explain that real quickly, Ken Penders is unfortunately the most famous name in the Archie comics, which I hate because he's the worst part of those comics. And as an Archie Sonic fan, I fucking hate how he's the legacy of these comics. People forget these comics ran for decades, had several writers, had several artists, but no, Ken is like the only one you people remember. Funny thing, fucking the guy who currently runs the IDW comics got his start on Archie Sonic.
That's right.
That's right.
And it's like, but no, the fucking IDW stans will do anything in their power to drag Archie, and that includes fucking just forgetting this fact. I
ain't dragging Archie comics. The Archie Sonic comics.
I know you aren't. This is me venting.
Oh no, that's fair. That's totally
like
fair.
Among Us.
But
like the thing is,
that's a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is. But the thing with
it's clobbering time.
the thing with the Ken Penders situation.
Sorry.
What?
You said the thing, and I said it's clobbering time.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Fair enough. But what I was gonna get at is the thing is what you're referring to is like basically they've been really Sega mandates are weird, and I know that they're the result of Sega getting paranoid because of
Penders,
Ken, because of the whole legal shit with Ken that happened because. Ken Penders did the thing where he basically sued like Sega and Archie for his characters back, won, and then, that basically terrified them for the next several years. It's why when the IDW comics started, they make absolute sure everyone signs a contract signing away characters they make for the IDW comics to Sega.
Now, okay, if I may, I do support creators owning their own stuff. However... if you're designing these characters to fit in the world of this other stuff, like that, you're not allowed to use them outside. Like if Todd McFarlane, that is the guy who made Venom, right? Todd McFarlane? I
believe so. Yes.
Yeah. If Todd McFarlane like made Venom and then said, "Hey, I want to make my own Venom comics without Spider-Man," and Marvel, he's not allowed to do that. That's why he made Spawn.
Well, see, the thing is that's kind of the thing is like. It's a complicated thing because I have a partial respect for Ken being able to get his characters back.
I do. No, and that's fair. That's fair.
But the problem with it is the guy around it. It's like, out of every comic creator, why did it have to be Ken Penders? Like,
because funny.
And like the reason why I bring that up is because you know who I think deserves to have that accomplishment more than anyone right now? Alan Moore. Because I don't know if you guys know this. DC screwed him with Watchmen.
They really did. Okay, no. This is real.
Really did. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I bring this up. Basically, from my understanding, what happened was his contract with DC was that they would publish Watchmen, and they would keep the rights for it for an entire year after they stopped printing it. So, in Moore's mind, it was like, okay, they'll print this book for a while, and then after they stop, I wait a year, I get my comic back, it's all whatever. Unfortunately, Watchmen is one of the most profitable and influential comics of its decade. So, DC finds any excuse they can to reprint the entire book. It's why the omnibus for the entire Watchmen is so cheap, because, like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
They will take... I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go on.
I said I was going to just say they will take any excuse to reprint it. You got a terrible HBO show coming out? Print the book.
That was just about to say, aren't they making like an HBO? No, wait, the HBO show is pretty good. The
HBO show is terrible.
No, it's okay. I don't agree. I watched a couple episodes with my dad.
I don't agree. at all.
I don't. But Jeremy Irons is Ozymandias.
See,
like he's pretty good.
I like Jeremy Irons. I don't like this show, but I don't like this show because I genuinely feel like it's not good. Like I respect a lot. I respect a lot of what's trying to say. I respect a lot of what's trying to do. I just don't think it's well executed.
What about Silk Spectre pulling out the giant fucking Dr. Manhattan vibrator?
Okay, see that gag worked better in The Boys.
Yeah, I forgot they did that bit in The Boys.
I forgot.
The Homelander dong.
Not just Homeland. They go to that sex party and there's like dildos for everyone in the fucking 7.
Oh my God,
doesn't
right.
MM get like cummed on?
I think a lot happens at Hero Gasm.
There's a lot of cum. There's a lot of cum. Yeah.
There's a reason. My favorite thing about The Boys is when people upload clips of it on YouTube and they have to like blur things. It is the funniest shit.
Oh, I've seen it unblurred. I've seen like some of it just gets uploaded.
There's
a man gets strangled by a massive cock in that series.
There's a scene from Gen V that I found the upload of on YouTube earlier, where the character Marie explodes a dude's penis.
That happens in the show, in The Boys too.
And penises show up a lot in The Boys. It's very common.
Yeah.
But like Marie,
there's a lot of dicks.
Marie uses her blood manipulation powers to just blow this dude's dick off. And to be fair, he absolutely deserved it. 100%.
I'm sure he does. No, most of the people in The Boys who get hurt deserve it.
Because she wakes up...
Most of the time.
Because, for context, she wakes up unconscious in this guy's house, basically.
Okay.
So, 100% motherfucker deserved it and more.
Gen V is sorry to interrupt, Gen V is like their version of the X-Men, right? Kinda, sorta?
Basically.
Okay.
Kind of.
It's basically in the unit... If Vought has a college for soups... Basically.
Okay, yeah, it is. It's the X-Men.
And I specify that because the Boys comics had their own literal equivalent to the X-Men, which I don't believe has been in the show at all.
Right. They also have Tech Knight, who's like Iron Man.
Tech Knight's in Gen V.
He's in Gen V?
Yeah, he's.
Is he still a sex addict?
Yes, but it's and they explain why actually.
Okay, because I like that because it's a parody of how Iron Man's an alcoholic. That's funny.
Yeah, in the show, it's because he has a brain tumor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's less funny.
Yeah, they basically explain it as like for some reason a side effect of the tumor is that he has this undying need to put his dick in holes. I don't think that's an actual thing. I don't think that's scientifically backed at all.
I don't think it is.
Like I'm pretty sure that's just there to be like, well, okay, I love this show. You know this, so when I say this next part, I'm not trying to call it bad. This is one of those moments where they're just really doing it for the sake of being edgy.
They really no, and that's a thing The Boys does, and it's a thing that I don't really like that they do, and it's a thing that I don't like the comics for. I actually think it's one of the few adaptations that's better than the source material, because the comics are really just like I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talk about how they don't like Watchmen. You were bringing this up, bringing Watchmen up earlier, and they talk about how they don't like Watchmen, and a lot of the stuff that Twitter says about Watchmen, like the comic, is what I feel about the original Boys comic. It's edgy for the sake of being edgy, and it's kind of like it's making fun of superheroes, but it's like you've created a world where superheroes are terrible. Like you've created a world that justifies your bias, kind of.
I will say I do want to give respect to Garth Ennis because I do think he's a good creator. He makes good shit. He has some of my favorite. He has some of my favorite runs on Punisher and the Hulk. Those are characters he did really good with.
Well, yeah, I mean that seems like his wheelhouse. The kind of like tortured, kind of not great guys kind of thing. I mean, Butcher is basically just the Punisher.
The reason why is because Garth Ennis grew up with comics, but he didn't grow up with superhero comics, and he has this. He's kind of upset that they kind of dominate the medium, which is a fair thing to be annoyed by. That's totally
fair. I just think he's a dick about it.
He kind of is, but it's one of those things where it's like he's kind of a dick, but I get it because like, I'm not excusing it, but I get it. And even then, as much as I don't really like the comic for The Boys as a whole, but that's just because I don't vibe with a lot of what it's saying. But I at least acknowledge that there's more to it personally than just the torture porn for his self-validation, because there's interesting stuff here. that the show
Yeah.
does adapt and play with. I just feel like, personally, I think the show handles it differently in a way that I prefer. I don't want to say that it's better, but that's because I'm me. You know how I work. You both know this.
Yeah.
I'm very fair, unfortunately.
I will say I like that because Huey was modeled after what is his name? In the comics,
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, and then they made Simon Pegg his dad in the show. That's really cute. I like that.
Yeah, what's funny is, I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's a anthology animated series called The Boys Diabolic.
Yes. Oh my god, I still need to watch that. Oh
and what's
my god,
interesting
I need to catch up.
Is I think Diabolic is like the worst of the boys shows, personally.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. But that's because it's an anthology series, so each episode varies heavily in quality. Which is the nature of the anthology. You know, you always kind of go in with that. And the thing is, there are really good episodes. Like, ironically, the episode Garth Ennis wrote for the show that takes place in his original comic universe is one of the best episodes of the show.
Okay, that's cool. I like that they did that. Even if I don't like the comics, I like that they did that.
And to make it even cooler, in his short, guess who voices Huey?
Simon Pegg, right? I think I saw that.
They let him do it.
I love that. That's
the
awesome.
other good one was this really, like, kind of touching story about an elderly couple in the world that was written by the guy who voiced Ben Reilly in Across the Spider-Verse. Whatever his name was.
Andy Samberg.
That's the one. I didn't realize I literally felt like that one Shaq meme where it's like, my apologies, I didn't understand your game. Because I didn't realize Andy Samberg could write, like, well.
He can. No, he was doesn't he write for Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, but that's a comedy. I didn't expect him to write, like, such a tragic, like, heart.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Like, and it's like, it's so funny because this is juxtaposed by what I consider the worst episode of The Boys Diabolic. Awkwafina's episode!
Oh, yeah, no, she's... Okay, I got mixed opinions on Awkwafina.
I don't have mixed opinions. I just find her annoying.
Okay, so I found her so annoying until I saw Shang-Chi. And I thought she was really funny in that. And then I watched... What else did I watched The Little Mermaid, and all respect was gone.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I think she works in Shang-Chi because of the fact that it's like... The script works with her, and everyone...
it's Marvel. It's the MCU. Everyone's annoying.
Well, yeah, except what's funny is I feel like part of the reason I really like Shang-Chi is that our main character and main villain aren't annoying.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, yeah. He's as annoying... Shang-Chi is as annoying as every Marvel protagonist in those movies. Which is, not very...
Yeah, but see, what I like about
What
I like about Shang-Chi is that they characterized him as sort of like a normal everyman. Like, he's kind of like... He's just sort of existing, kind of just...
Yeah.
And it's admittedly kind of a nice, fresh thing for the MCU protagonist-wise. Because most of their protagonists are like, cocky jackasses.
Yeah, I mean, I think the closest thing to that would be like Spider-Man or maybe Daredevil.
Maybe a bit more Daredevil.
Yeah.
Personally.
I need to watch Daredevil Netflix again because that Disney Plus show is going to be good, I think.
It's going to be so
good.
The
Daredevil Netflix show is on Disney Plus now. They took it off Netflix.
It is. Which is insane. It's, oh my god, when fucking Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin showed up in Hawkeye, I fucking blew a gasket. I was so happy.
What's so funny to me about the Netflix Daredevil being put on Disney Plus is that the opening credits, I don't know if they went back and changed this since then, but when the shows first got there, there's the brief bit where it says a Netflix production, and now it's just a blank screen for that bit.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's right.
Funny.
They lazily just did not, they removed the property of Netflix, but they just didn't get rid of like that few seconds of footage.
So it's just like it hangs on like a red gradient for several seconds.
Yeah, it feels so awkward at the beginning. You kind of get used to it. Yeah, you kind of get used to it after like a few episodes, but you can't ignore it if that makes sense. You're just sitting there going,
They've got money. Like I'm sure they have the original footage. Just go back and do it. You say that, mate, but they've got the money, but do they have the effort? That is the question. It would take 2 seconds. Have an intern do it.
Okay. You have to remember. Secret Wars.
Oh my fucking! I am so. Wait, what? Okay, first of all, I'm done with Marvel after Secret Wars. It's just gonna be fucking every single character showing up. You're gonna have Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider. You're gonna have Michael Chiklis. The Thing is gonna show up.
What was that show with Nick Fury that was on Disney Plus a while ago? Because apparently that wasn't Secret Wars.
What? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, the one that had like the AI opening.
Secret. Sorry, I thought you were talking
Secret
about
Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
That's the one.
Okay, I have the biggest. Okay, well, first of all, Marvel didn't do the opening. They like contracted it to somebody else, and they used AI. So I don't like people blaming Marvel for using AI because they didn't require the use of AI for that. That was. I assume it was probably crunch time on the production company's part, and that's why they used AI.
Which in that case, let's just blame the corpos.
Yeah, okay. Blame. Yeah, no, I'm not defending $1 million company. They can shove it. But fucking okay. Secret Invasion. I have the biggest mixed thoughts on because some of the stuff is really really good, and then Khaleesi from Game of Thrones gets a big like jack off arm at the end, and one of the Kens from Barbie is the bad guy.
I got spoiled that series very, very quickly. I got so annoyed.
Sorry,
by it.
I didn't mean to spoil it more.
No, it wasn't you. I was in a Discord group, and we were all talking about Marvel, and I basically said, "Oh, I haven't watched Secret Invasion yet because I was busy with other things."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a friend of mine immediately goes, "Oh, that means you missed," and then told me the entire ending, and I was like,
"Why would you?" Oh.
And what annoys me what annoys me as most is the fact that after he kept talking, no one stopped him.
What the fuck
like everyone
is the
heard
stop
me
process?
say, I haven't seen it.
No, seriously.
Sorry?
What is the stop process? What is the brain here? Someone
I know
tells
what
you.
it is.
Someone tells you they haven't seen something, and your immediate response, without any questioning, do you want to know what happens, is just to immediately go, so you missed the insert entire plot.
So, because I know what this is. It's because of streaming and because of COVID. Well, I don't want to blame COVID, but it's because of, like, the whole lockdowns and everything and everyone's streaming. People are really rude now. Like, people were rude before. They're really rude now. And they don't realize they're being rude. Like, there was this problem. I don't know if you guys are into Broadway at all, but there's a problem now.
I love Broadway.
Yeah? Have you heard about this problem? Sorry, what were we saying about Broadway?
Oh, I was just going to say I'm a classically trained actor, so I literally love Broadway stuff, and I've been on stage and musicals and etc. etc. I pretty much breathe Broadway.
That's rad. Are you familiar with the current problem of
yes,
people like
I
singing
know exactly.
over the artists and whatnot?
No, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually gonna like be a bit of a like. I understand you want to sing along to your favorite song.
Yeah.
But not while the singer or any of the other people who are performing are doing it.
It's not a concert.
You can mouth it. No, you can mouth it. You can kind of like sway to the beat and stuff like that. But don't overlap the singer.
It's not a concert. It's like if you go to a rock concert and you shout along to like the lyrics, that's fine. You're kind of supposed to.
Hell, half the time the performer starts encouraging it halfway through the set because they're exhausted.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I keep thinking back to after fuck it. I can't. I'm so tired. I forgot the lead singer of Linkin Park's name, Chester Bennington. Right?
Oh, Chestnut. Yeah.
Yeah, after he passed away,
Rest in peace,
did that concert performance of I think Numb, and they just had the audience like they had the microphone pointed at the audience. That was a very nice moment. Yeah. Anyway, that was sorry. What?
That's all right. I was just going to say that it was a very nice tribute to Chester when they were. Yeah, it was brilliant.
They did a whole. They did like a whole thing, like a whole like concert where they had a bunch of guest vocalists do different songs with them, and basically all of those clips are online now. I know one of them involves Sum 41, which was neat.
That's awesome. Sorry, I've had Linkin Park on the brain because like I don't really like what Mike Shinoda's been doing lately.
Neither do I.
Some of this stuff is not. Some of this stuff, I'm gonna be the since I've now just found out you two are not liking his stuff. I'm gonna be that guy and say they're not terrible.
Oh no, we're not talking about the music. We're talking about the fact he keeps making AI music videos.
Does he keep doing that?
That never mind that. Yeah, never mind.
No, he did it. He did it twice. Because they've been releasing like songs they recorded that they never released, like Lost and Fighting Myself. And for both of those songs, for some inane reason, the motherfucker thought, how do I tribute my friend? I know this.
Okay, you know what it is? You know, I had a friend, classmate in college, and we were talking about music, and he hated the Foo Fighters, and asked why. Because I'm not the biggest Foo Fighters fan, but I like them. And I asked why, and he said it's because of like what Dave Grohl is doing, and he's doing exactly what, he was doing exactly what Kurt Cobain didn't want to do with Nirvana, and he felt it was kind of a disgrace. And that's kind of what I feel about Mike Shinoda and Linkin Park. I don't know why I got on this.
I can see. No, it's fine. I mean, we were talking about Broadway earlier, and you got me triggered from the fact that. But no, honestly, I understand the feeling on that, but no.
Yeah.
And as someone who's currently in a production right now, if any motherfucker is singing my song, I'm going to smash them.
What's the production? What are you doing?
Oh god, I don't know if this is actually something you guys have in Canada and US. Pantomimes, do you know of those?
I'm familiar with the term. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like Christmas plays, you know, those sort of like those silly like plays that they do for kids and stuff for Christmas and stuff like that.
Pantomime.
It's that sort of thing. So
sorry, I'm just trying to like visualize it, because I've definitely heard it before and I've seen people talk about it, but I don't really know what it is.
Oh, essentially it's just a play where you're doing famous like shows like Cinderella, Snow White, etc. Except the men are dressed as women and the women are dressed as men. Okay, so it's kind of like goofy and fun. Yeah, it's a silly, goofy, fun play. And while this is not a very good like thing, because audience are encouraged to like join in on it, I'm playing the villain in this one. Ooh. And everyone there's like a rule that the audience doesn't join in for the villain song.
Okay, I see.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, I was gonna say, like, when you're describing pantomimes, I think I saw, like, when I went to Disneyland as a kid, they were doing like this Aladdin show, and I think it was kind of a pantomime because they got a lot of like kid involvement and stuff, and like the narrator.
Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, that's a perfect because that is exactly what a pantomime is. It's a play being put on, but it's never taken serious. Like, you literally walk in knowing that it's going to be like, oh, they're going to say a joke like this. They're going to like get the audience involved. And
the narrator was like talking to the characters and the audience, and like eventually when the genie shows up, he like puts on a blue hat and he becomes the genie, kind of thing. Like,
that sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
Well, the song I'm doing, because the cool thing about pantomimes is that you can sort of waiver copyright laws.
Of course.
So I'm playing the song "Reviewing the Situation."
I don't know what that is.
And sorry?
I don't know what that is.
It's from Oliver.
Okay. Oh,
it's Oliver.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm reviewing the situation.
Is that the bad guy? Is that Fagin's song?
I think it's Fagin's song, yes.
It's been a while since I've seen Oliver.
Fair enough. I should have said that.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. And for some reason, they decided to give me that song for my character, because we're doing Aladdin, funny enough, since you mentioned it.
Way.
And I'm playing the, not Jafar, I'm playing Abanazar, which is apparently the original villain for it.
Yeah. They made a lot of changes to Aladdin. Yeah. Disney. I mean, originally it takes place in China, first of all.
Yeah, no, we're taking we're going for the Chinese original look for it.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, and thank God they removed some of the jokes. I'm not gonna lie, thank God they removed it. It was like, if you know British comedy and you've seen some of like old fashioned British comedy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thankfully, with my help, they removed the jokes.
I was gonna say, when you say old British comedy, you can just like replace that with bigotry.
No,
I love John Cleese, but I don't know. Actually, wait, is John Cleese cool? No. Has he been cool? I feel like he's been cool.
I haven't heard anything about John Cleese for a while, but apparently he's in.
It's better than most.
Yeah, no, it's better than most. I love John Cleese, but my God, some of his opinions are. Ooh.
Hey, isn't that right, James Woods?
Huh?
Sorry.
You know James Wood, the guy who plays Hades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very bad.
Oh man.
No.
See, I've been playing Disney Speedstorm, and which is a racing game with Disney characters. For those who don't know, it's free to play. Buy it, play it, do it. It's really fun. Anyway, they're adding Hades to the game, and he's still played by James Woods, and I'm so happy to see Hades in the game. But I don't want to hear James Woods' voice when I play as him. First of all, he's old. He sounds like a freaking geezer. It's like Mulan, or not Mulan. It's like Mufasa in the Lion King remake. Like they brought back James Earl Jones, who's like fucking 90. Like, don't make this old man keep talking. See, I don't mind that they replaced Darth Vader's voice with AI, because first of all, it's a robot voice anyway, so that's fine. And James Earl Jones still gets paid, so it's okay. And I think
that's right, he does, doesn't he?
He does, which is cool. For Darth Vader, I don't mind, but I don't stop deep faking Luke Skywalker.
See, here's my thing. I don't like it, but that's only because of my simple thing of all you really have to do is pay an actor to play Darth Vader.
Just get a sound alike, really.
And then put the filter over it. They don't even have to be super close, because as long as they can do a deep, as long as they can be deep and intimidating, the filter will mask the rest. You don't need to be using a machine.
That's what they do most of the time.
Yeah, and it's like...
Oh god, I was about to say something, but I don't know if you've played Jedi Survivor.
I haven't actually.
The one with Cal Kestis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor's the sequel. Jedi Survivor's the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you guys have played it, but Darth Vader just shows up in that.
Yeah, because he showed up at the tail end of the first one, so that makes sense.
Cool.
No, he just shows up in this one, like literally just goes, "Hello, I'm Darth Vader."
I haven't played it. I do own it, but I haven't played it quite yet. And I've seen a part. I'm talking about the first one.
Fallen Order.
But Fallen Order, yeah. I've seen a part in it where I believe she's a villain, and like she's threatening Cal, and then you see the life drain from her eyes as Darth Vader shows up behind her. Love that.
Yeah,
the second sister's reaction is priceless.
I love it. It's so because he's scary. He's scary as fuck.
I won't lie. That was the first time in a long time that when you hear the breathing, I actually got chills. Going, oh my god, he's actually here.
What also makes it really work is the fact that for the entire game, there's basically almost no mention of the films or like any of its characters from it. Basically, the only hint you get is like a recorded message from Obi-Wan and a hologram box.
Okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing relating to these films. It's just an entirely original story within this universe. Right at the tail end, after you fight the final boss, the second sister, and have this whole thing, motherfucking Darth Vader shows up. And what's brilliant about it is that the game then asks you to fight him. And then you try to fight him. But it's a forced loss fight. You literally cannot. You can't do shit against him. You try to hit him and he'll just force you away. You literally can't.
He's fucking Cal Kestis and he's Darth Vader. And then, what's he gonna do?
Cal makes the decision on both of your behalfs. Yeah, horrible idea. We're running.
Yeah, no, that was so good. I was like, I remember that control being taken away from me when I played that bit, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go against this motherfucker.
I love that.
No, and Cal's like, no, please don't.
See, does he talk to the audience? Like talk to the viewer?
No, he just takes control away from you and runs.
That's funny. I was thinking it'd be like in Death Stranding, where like Norman Reedus is like, please let me take a shower.
And
for those who don't know Death Stranding, that's gonna make no sense.
And what's funny about this to me is that with Cal and the Darth Vader thing, it's even funnier for me because I did my entire run of Fallen Order on the hardest setting on like Jedi Grandmaster because I have a problem. Reminder: this is my first run of the game, and it's the only difficulty I played this game on.
Well, if you forgot the problem, I've got that problem too.
So I have the opposite of the problem. I play on the easiest difficulty and breeze through it as fast as possible because I got shit to do.
See, but the reason why I say this,
fair enough.
The reason why I say this is because I am thankful Cal decided we were running, because I can't imagine a Darth Vader fight on that difficulty and me.
No, right?
I dissolve your skeleton.
I would be here for a week at least.
As someone who plays Dark Souls religiously, that's why I went, I can take this. I can do this. I fought in this guy and that guy. And Cal's like, bitch, they ain't Dark Souls. Run.
You cannot.
See, what's funny is I had a similar but different mindset. As you may or may not know, you both work with me, so you know this. I have some experience in Devil May Cry. You've seen my videos.
Some.
You don't
Just
say.
Some.
I reference it every video. There's a gag about it in the Guardians video where a point I'm making gets cut off for a joke. Like I have a whole tangent about the game about like a certain mechanic, and after I get the point across, I keep going on for several minutes, and Whalley was like, nah, we shall fade into a joke.
My favorite Devil May Cry game is the one where you play as Jack Skellington.
Okay, you joke, but here's the funny thing about Oogie's Revenge. I feel like I've told you this before, but I want to say it again. It's made by Capcom,
right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. But it's not just the Capcom game. People who worked on Devil May Cry specifically were working on this game.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's like made in the Devil May Cry
engine.
It is a Devil May Cry game.
And it goes even deeper, because some of the mechanics in Oogie's Revenge would get carried over to Devil May Cry 4.
Oh,
that's funny.
The biggest example is Nero's Devilbringer, his like demon arm, and how he has like a grapple move with it that lets him go up.
It's a soul robber.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
They literally developed this Disney game and were like, actually, this is an amazing idea, but what if we give it to a character who has a gun and a sword?
Isn't that what Tetsuya Nomura did with World Ends With You? We're gonna make a Disney game and then use the mechanics I made for it. And I mean, isn't
Nomura was not the director of World Ends With You. He was a character designer. That's all he did.
Oh, my bad.
But what's funny is Nomura has a self-insert in the World Ends With You in the form of Sho Minamimoto, who literally is...
Oh, that's right, he does.
Who is literally designed to look like Nomura, right down to all of Sho's outfits being stuff that Nomura actually owns. Like, they literally just looked in that man's closet. What's funny about Minamimoto is he has no allegiance. He's a very, very eccentric, crazy motherfucker. And no one truly understands what he's thinking at any one given time.
That sounds like the creator of what's that game series? Nier Automata?
Oh, you're talking about Yoko Taro.
That's it.
The
Yeah,
guy who
Yoko
blocks
Taro.
everyone on Twitter. Is that him?
Yeah.
No. The guy who blocks everyone on Twitter is Hideki Kamiya. That's the guy who made Devil May Cry 1.
And Bayonetta, right?
Yeah, Kamiya is funny because he did Devil May Cry 1, and then he stopped working on Devil May Cry because he didn't want to do Devil May Cry 2. He didn't want to do a sequel.
Right.
He's very weird about that. Then, of course, from 3 onward, we had Hideaki Utsuno directing the series. What we know as Devil May Cry today is basically Kamiya started it, and then Utsuno ran with it.
It sounds kind of like what Masahiro Sakurai wants to do with Smash Bros.
Basically. But what's funny...
He's like, please let me leave.
What's funny is Kamiya, after he left Konami, him and his people at Clover, because Clover was a in-house studio for Capcom.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Clover. They made Amaterasu, or Okami, sorry.
Yeah, they did Amaterasu's game Okami. They did they did God Hand. They did Beautiful Joe. They did a bunch of stuff.
All the cool shit.
Which, by the Clover was an offshoot of Little Devils, which was the in-house group that did Devil May Cry 1. But they changed the name when they started doing other projects because
Right.
But anyway,
kind of like NetherRealm is owned by is NetherRealm owned by anybody?
NetherRealm's owned by Warner Brothers.
That's what I was thinking. Like that's the hand that does all the Mortal Kombat stuff. Or Project Soul is the guys who do all the Soul Calibur stuff for Namco.
Yeah, what's funny about NetherRealm is made up of a lot of Midway employees because Midway went bankrupt, and WB, having just come off of MK vs. DC, was like, we don't want you to die, but you legally have to, so come over here.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool of them to do that.
Yeah. But what's interesting about
I know you don't like the more Mortal Kombat games, except the new one, which apparently you do like. Which is cool.
MK1 is so good. I was like, finally, NRS made a good game again. It's only been over 11 years, baby.
I will keep my tongue. I will hold my tongue as the one. I assume the one person here who liked Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, here's the thing. I'll say this. I think MK9 is fine as a fighting game. As a mechanical fighting game, it's fine. I don't care for the narrative, but we'll get into that. MKX, there's a lot of cool stuff in its narrative. I like the combat kids. I like what they do with Johnny and his family. I don't like the game mechanically. It has too many injustice-isms, and I don't like injustice all that much.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Then, MK11. I fucking hate MK11. Because, here's my thing. MK11 is the culmination of everything I don't like in a modern MK game. By that I mean, it's basically an injustice game, in terms of gameplay. And it has undoubtedly the worst story of the modern games. I remember we were talking about this, and you asked me about the Kotal Khan Jade thing because you weren't caught up on what happened in MKX.
That's right. Yeah.
You thought maybe it was set up in X, and I was like, no, it just comes out of nowhere. And your immediate response was, I'm starting to see why MK fans don't like it.
I remember that. Sorry to go back to Injustice. What don't you like about the Injustice games? Because I really do. I like the Injustice games. I'm not crazy about the story. I know Evil Superman, whatever. Blah, blah, blah,
obviously we're talking about the gameplay because I mentioned
the gameplay. What do you not like about the gameplay? Because I think they feel very solid gameplay.
I feel like the Injustice games are too meter focused.
Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Injustice works for what it's doing. If you for that kind of game, I guess it works. I can't really be a judge on that because I don't really like how focused it is on the meter thing. I also don't like the environment shit, honestly.
Yeah, there's a little too much of that.
I feel like it should have stayed with just the you can kick someone into another arena thing, because plenty of fighting games do that. Guilty Gear does it better, but Guilty Gear does it. But I don't like how you can grab objects and throw them, or MKX has a funny example of this where you can throw an NPC at a bitch, but
they do that in Injustice too. There's a level where you can throw a guy at a bar.
Yeah, and the thing is, MK11 and MKX took from Injustice with these mechanics, and I never really cared for that. And the thing is, if you ignore that, I think the Injustice games are fine. They're fun multiplayer games to play with other people. They serve that purpose, and that's fine. Yeah. Plus, I can't hate Injustice 2 entirely because it has Hellboy.
Oh my god, Hellboy! Yo, I still remember when my friend showed me the Ninja Turtles in the game. I screamed. I actually screamed.
What's funny is I feel like here's my thing. I feel like a lot of people really were happy about the Ninja Turtle thing because I think that was cool as fuck as well.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that it's essentially 4 characters in one slot because they do all have their own moveset. Yeah. But because of how similarly they're built, they were able to basically retrofit a singular model with 4 variants. And and what's interesting though is, for me, Hellboy is probably my favorite thing in Injustice 2 because 1, he does not get a whole lot of anything.
And when he does, it's usually not very good, except for the new game.
Yeah, I'm playing through Web of Word because I plan to make a video on that next year.
Is it good?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I'm still going through it. It's the best way of explaining it is it's structured kind of like Hades, but it plays like the modern God of War games, which is a weird combination.
That is a very odd combination.
That is okay.
But I mean, Whalley, I've been sending you the footage I've been recording on for the download.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And what's funny is you can watch in that footage, but it's the most interesting thing about the game to me that I feel like is undoubtedly its best aspect is that they perfectly capture Mike Mignola's art style in the game.
The art
yeah,
in
the
game.
No, definitely.
They perfectly capture what that would look like in 3D. And that means a lot to me because I feel like Hellboy's original vision by Mike Mignola has been kind of forgotten by the public. And this isn't to sound whiny or anything, but I feel like a lot of people immediately think of Del Toro's films when they think of Hellboy.
Yeah.
And the Del Toro movies are fine. The Del Toro movies are fine. They're not the fucking shitty ass fucking David Harbour fucking Hellboy movie from like 2017.
I have a couple things to say about Hellboy and Mike. How do you pronounce the guy's name again?
Mike Mignola.
Mike Mignola. I have a couple things to say about him, and one of them I don't think I've told you yet, which is really cool. First of all, my mom. This is not the cool thing. It's still pretty cool. My mom got me an art book for the Hellboy movie with David Harbour for Christmas a couple years ago, and because I told her I wanted art books because I wanted to collect some. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if you like this, but I think I've heard you talk about Hellboy before, so I thought you'd like it. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that the movie sucked. But I mean, her heart's in the right place. Her heart's in the right. But I mean,
yeah,
the art book is really cool because they made a lot of cool monster designs for it. And the other thing was, so I went to college to learn how to make comic books. And the guy who ran the course, Ken Stacy's the guy's name, legendary artist. He was friends with Mike Mignola. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Mike Mignola.
He is friends with him. And he told me this story about how he was having lunch with him years ago. And Mike said, hey, I got this idea for a character. Hold on, let me sketch him real quick. And he showed him Hellboy. He showed this is how I learned from the best. Like I've rubbed shoulders with giants here. Like he saw Hellboy before it was a thing. I don't think I've ever told that story before. It's really cool.
What? So that is amazing. By the way,
yeah, right? Did I not tell you that?
No, I don't think you've ever told me this before.
Yeah, wow. No. He also apparently this is what he says. I don't know if it's true, but he allegedly was the first person to ever draw an upside down Spider-Man kiss.
Oh.
Allegedly, I don't know.
Allegedly.
That's one of those things that's kind of hard to prove. Let's not kid ourselves.
I mean, he's an amazing artist. I'll have to send you some of his art. Ken Stacy, look him up. He's a Canadian artist. Love the guy. Love his art. Very, very cool person.
What's interesting? Oh no, I was gonna go off you. I thought you were done. Keep going.
No, I'm pretty much done. Actually, there's one other thing about Hellboy that you told me, or specifically about Mike Mignola. He was the art director for Disney's Atlantis.
Yeah, and what's funny,
That's right.
Even though you can tell. Once you know that, you can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell.
They Disneyfy a lot of his human designs, like in the animation, but even in the human designs, there's still like hints that it's him, like not just aesthetically, because they do lean into his aesthetics.
Oh yeah.
Because fun fact about Mignola, he doesn't really like he doesn't like doing like urban modern settings. Like he doesn't like drawing those buildings. He doesn't like drawing those vehicles.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And it's one of the many things the Del Toro films differ in, because those films are like set in New York and shit.
Fucking Seth MacFarlane was in the second one. Oh my god.
And the thing is, what's untouched from Mike Mignola's concept art for Atlantis is the architecture and the technology.
Yeah,
that shit is untouched in the transition to animation. Which, by the way, I understand why they adjusted the style for animation, because it's a Disney movie. But like, what's funny is it still has kind of like the cubic sort of like, you know, edgy. Like, I don't mean edgy like edgy, but I mean like it like edges. Mignola.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's his whole thing. Like you can see it in like Milo's hair and shit.
I was thinking the way he draws fingers. Everyone has square fingers in that movie.
Yeah, no, everyone has like really squared fingers.
See, I agree with that. However, whenever I think of like square fingers, the first thing I think of is like Sora's hands in KH2, like his hand model.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, he does have square fingers, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Like here's the thing, like it's kind of funny to me because it's like that is like the immediate thing I can think of, and it's because it looks very good in the actual game, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm thinking back to like Organization 13 and like how they always have their hands up, and they're like, especially Xemnas, he's always like throwing his hands around or whatever when he's giving his speeches, and he always has square fingers. I think it's just like a limitation of the PS2.
But what's funny to me about it is that the only reason why I bring it up is because people will import KH2 models into like MMD or like Gmod, and it becomes way more noticeable. And it's like
go on.
think not every character in KH2 has the square fingers. Some of them have like more triangular, leaner fingers, like the princesses, Kairi. Naminé.
Yeah, if they're girls, they usually have triangle fingers.
And then we have the fucking circular tube hands, like Mickey and Donald and Goofy have.
Oh yeah.
Why do we all wear gloves? What's funny? Here's the thing. That joke from Extremely Goofy Movie still applies in KH hilariously.
Absolutely.
Because most characters wear gloves.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing gloves.
Like Sora wears gloves, Riku wears gloves, fucking Kairi doesn't. That's the thing. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, it's just weird.
And I think it's symbolic, personally, and this is such a me thing to say, but hear me out. Because Kairi's the most open of the main three in terms of her emotions and her feeling. I've said this before. She's the top. She's the. I talked about this in the KH2 video. I had a whole segment about this. She's the one always taking the first step. She's the one always going out of her way to do things. The contradiction though, is she's not as strong as Sora and Riku. So her constantly doing this is her Lois laning herself into danger half the fucking time.
Kairi.
And the thing is, I love Lois. I love Lois Lane. You know this. I'm a big Superman fan.
Of course.
And it's kind of part of the reason I feel like nobody understands Kairi like I do, which I know I say it a lot. And it's
listen, to anyone else, I know that would sound pretentious, but I know you, so that doesn't sound pretentious to me. Don't worry.
Yeah, and the thing is, part of why I say that is because Kairi has a lot of similar traits to Lois, in my opinion. And it's part of the reason I feel... And that's part of the reason why I feel like people don't get her. Because the thing is, the damsel of the trio is not Kairi. It's Riku. No. Riku's the damsel.
I do remember I said something about Kairi that I do regret that made you very upset. And I said, like, I kind of want her to be more of a tomboy. Because I felt she was very much of a tomboy in the first game. And they kind of lost that in future games.
And then
sorry.
I was just gonna, and then I explained to you that she still has it. It's just she only really lets it show when she's around people she trusts because she got older and she's, she spent an entire year away from them. Her only friend was Selfie, and there was this part of her that she essentially had to keep inside of herself because she didn't have an outlet for it. But when she's around Sora and Riku, she's allowed to be herself more. In KH2, you can actually see it come out the minute she sees them again.
Absolutely. You know what though? I think my main problem with Kairi is that they don't give her enough attention. Make a Kairi game. I mean, not Melody of Memory. You don't play as Kairi in that game.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I do feel like I want to put a perspective there.
Yeah,
Kairi's arc doesn't really start until 2.
Okay,
I can agree. Yeah,
okay.
Because hear me out. Because
no, you're right.
She's mostly okay. I wasn't sure if that was sarcastic or not.
No. I was just confirming that you are correct.
Yeah, because the thing is, KH1's plot is predominantly about the main trio, but a main factor of that plot is what Kairi means to Sora and Riku, because she's not conscious for most of this plot. But what's funny is she's consistently acting in this plot, just not intentionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she's the reason Sora recognizes the castle in Deep Jungle. He's like, what is this slide? And I've never been to a castle, but it feels so familiar. That's Kairi inside his heart. Kairi's inside me. And
don't say it like that.
Well, it's the exact line.
I know, but it's weird when he says it too.
And it's the thing is Sora and Riku are both motivated by Kairi. In Chain of Memories, she's not in Chain of Memories. Not really. I know she shows up, but it's not her. You know because
it nominates replacing the memories, right? Or Sora's memories.
Yeah, it's the only characters who actually show up in Chain of Memories are Sora, Donald, Goofy, Jiminy, Riku, Repliku, Naminé, and the organization members that show
Marluxia,
up.
Right, yeah. The organization members, like you said, yeah.
But only the ones that left during that period in days. The part in days where everyone just disappears.
Oh yeah. I'm writing. So I've written. I made these Kingdom Hearts parody cartoons called Kingdom Hearts Condensed. I have a whole series of condensed videos, and I've done Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, and 2. And I'm currently working on the scripts for Coded and 358 over 2 days. That's how you say that, right? 358 days over 2, or
it's 358.
I won't lie. I still chuckle in your second one with Kingdom Hearts 2 when you said I can't do Pete.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know why, but when I heard that, I was it killed me, Taco.
It killed me. Very good impression.
Ooh, so you can't do a Pete impression. Well, I'll just take myself out.
Pete's my name and gatekeeping's my game. I can do a better one now. But
what's funny is it's funny you're working on the coded video because the next KH game in the Kingdom Hearts retrospective that I've been doing on my channel is recoded actually.
Well, we're doing we're kind of caught up, aren't we? Like you put out your Kingdom Hearts 2 video and then I did my animated one, right? We're both doing them in order. But anyway, I was going to say for the Kingdom Hearts, I'll just say Days. The Days one, there's a bit where Marluxia goes up to Axel and is like, "Oh, hey Axel, we got to go do that thing with the cards." I really like that. I think I've changed some things, so I don't know if that's still in the script, but I really like that bit. And then when Axel comes back and Sax is like, "So how'd the mission go?" And he's like, "Everyone's dead but me."
You can't axe Axel, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the Kingdom Hearts 2 one, Riku's like, "It's okay, he's gonna die," and he's like, "I'll be back though."
I will say, I think using Axel for the jokes in KH3, he's the best character to do these jokes with. Because,
I love how he's constantly confused.
Because the thing is, it's so in character for him that it doesn't take away from the sincerity or like the stakes or like the weight. Because it's perfectly within reason for Axel to be just so confused and tired, because that's who he is.
I love that for him. But I think that this is something I do like about Kingdom Hearts, and I know you don't like it when people say the series is confusing, which it is. I will say that the confusing parts, the characters are as confused as the audience is.
Yeah, basically the.
Yeah, like, if I may use an example, in Kingdom Hearts 2, when Mickey shows up and says, "Oh yeah, remember that guy you fought in the first game? Yeah, that wasn't actually him." And Sora's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, that's perfect.
It's part of the reason why I don't like when people say it's confusing, because it's like, any time that the series is intentionally, like, confusing, it's either, one, on purpose for the sake of a mystery, because it doesn't tell you everything, or it's because, the main characters don't know it's something. Like, again, the example you
learn with the main characters. And I think that's why I don't mind saying that the series is confusing, because it is, but that's not a bad thing. It's the confusion is the mystery, like you said.
I mind when people say it, because when most people say it, they're saying it as a complaint.
Most people say it as a bad thing, and I don't like that.
And I don't like that because it's the same level of saying, Danganronpa cases are confusing. Yeah, they're mystery cases.
Okay, Danganronpa's fucking weird. I'm not going to get into that.
That's why I specified cases. I specified the cases.
I know what you mean.
because if I said the entire series, we'd be here a bit longer.
I fucking love that Scott the Woz bit, where he's talking about, like, he's doing, like, a Switch retrospective at the end of the year, and he's like, "Oh, Danganronpa finally released for the Switch, so now I have no excuse not to play it." And then it cuts to, like, hours later, and it's just, like, a minute-long bit of him, like, in stunned silence, trying to say something, but he can't.
Here's the thing, I like Danganronpa, which is a controversial opinion in the year 2023.
I don't hate it. I've just never, like, it's a big commitment to get into. But I played a little bit of the first game, and I think I liked it. I would love to play the rest of it someday.
I have never touched the series, and it isn't because I don't like it. It's just one of those series that I'm like, I'll pick it up one day.
The best way I try to sell people on it is Danganronpa is essentially Ace Attorney if it was on drugs.
It is. No, that's true. That's perfect.
Yeah, no, that's true.
What's funny about saying that is if you've played an Ace Attorney, you go, how the fuck do you go further?
Oh, yeah. I've only played the first one and most of the second one. I assume they get wackier from there.
Well, yes, because part of what Ace Attorney's known for is its kooky and personality.
He does bring a parrot in to testify in the first game.
Here's
I forgot
the funny
about
thing.
That.
Fun fact about me, my first Ace Attorney game was the second one.
Yeah.
So I had no previous exposure to anything before Justice for All. And then Justice for All is throwing me for a loop because it has all this, like, stories about possession, and we go to this, like, traditional Japanese village, and, like, Maya's getting framed every other case. It's a whole thing. And it's like, what's funny is, I don't know if either of you have ever played it, there's a game called Ghost Trick.
I've heard of it.
Yes.
DS,
and
right?
Ghost Trick is seen by a lot of people as a spiritually connected to Ace Attorney.
Spiritual, like ghosts.
Yes,
I'll see myself out.
And It doesn't help that in Ultimate Wars Capcom 3, one of Phoenix's alternate color palettes is Cecil, the protagonist of Ghost Trick.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which, by the way, was the palette I always used when I played Phoenix, because I really like Ghost Trick, and it gets nothing. But it recently got put on PC, by the way.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The PC port, by the way, runs in the RE engine for some reason.
Really? Isn't it a 2D game though?
Well, yes and no. It was a 2D game that used 3D models on a 2D perspective on the DS.
Okay.
But what's funny is there's a character in the game called Lynn. She's like the main woman that's in the party. She's the redhead you've probably seen before.
I have not seen anything from this game.
Anyway, and there's a running gag that she will consistently get herself killed, and then you have to do what you can to undo her dying.
Oh my god!
Because throughout the game, you as Cecil are a ghost, and you're possessing different objects and using tricks to like make them do things. It's a puzzle game where you're essentially stopping people from getting killed as you unravel the mystery of how Cecil died, because he doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember how he died. He doesn't remember how he got here. And it's really funny to play a game about dying and like all of that when you're like 9.
Oh my, wow.
Because here's the thing. Another DS game I really liked was The World Ends With You, which is a game where a teenager gets fucking murdered, doesn't remember how he died, and is now competing in a game with other teenagers so he doesn't get erased from existence.
That's a fun game to play when you're a child.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, in case you're curious why I am the way I am, it was both this and seeing Griffith do what he did to Casca when I was 14.
I can't get over the fact that you fucking read that as like I read Berserk recently. I keep falling on and off it, but I got up to that part and I knew what was coming. I knew it was gonna be bad, but
because
like as I was like flipping through pages, I'm like, oh god, okay, it's getting worse. It's getting and I said something on Twitter about Berserk a while ago, and I didn't look at the comments, but I knew people were mad at me for saying it. And it was that I found the SA, let's say, parts in Berserk to be really like pornographic's the wrong word, but like it's very much like I don't know. I know the author. What's the guy's name again?
Kintaro Miura, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. Legend. But I know he said that, like, yeah, I kind of wish I didn't do that as much. And I know it serves the story. I know it does, but I feel like just the way he drew Casca during that whole part, especially, was very, like, I don't know.
I think there is a way to read it more charitably, which I understand why Miura had a hard time doing that, because, well, he was a very nice guy.
Yeah. He was. I regret the fact that I got into Berserk after he passed away. It's like MF Doom. I got into his stuff after he died.
I think the thing is, one, it's supposed to be unpleasant for the reader as well, because it's unpleasant for Guts to witness. Like, as you know, part of what's happening is Guts is being forced to witness this happen. Like, Griffith is essentially making him watch, which is fucked up on so many levels.
Very fucked up. I don't know if this is in the... Sorry, I don't know if it's in the manga. I don't really remember it, but I know in one of the animated adaptations, Griffith is, like, staring directly at Guts while it's happening.
Yeah, that's consistent, because the thing is, Griffith wasn't doing it for himself. He was doing it to make Guts suffer.
Which is like... I think it's just a problem that happens with Casca. Like, that was the other thing I brought up. Every bad guy, every villain in the series sees Casca and is like, yes, that. Like, I feel like Casca, like, gets her top ripped off in, like, every other chapter.
I will say you're not wrong, but I feel like that was on purpose.
It was. And I get it, but I think that there's criticism to be said there. And I know there's a purpose for it. But after the, like, 5th time she gets her top ripped off in the same book, it's like, come on.
I will say that I feel like they made a good point about this and how unforgiving this specific world is to women, as it's very often, as it is very much a criticism of, like, the sexist mindset that these men have.
It's very similar to Game of Thrones in that way, actually.
I think it's very telling that Miura always gives, like, villains this mindset specifically.
Okay, yeah, it's like how Hirohiko Araki, whenever he wants to make like a really, really like a villain you're not supposed to root for, he wants to make them like real bad. He has them kill a dog.
Yeah,
you can't sympathize with the dog killer.
Yeah, it's like that, and it's like the thing is, I believe topics like this are very difficult to do 100% well.
I mean, that's why I said essay instead of what it actually is, right?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's a very difficult and mature topic to discuss, and I mean that in like the most honest word of that meaning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a real thing that happens, and I feel like it's important for people to be able to express that and to talk about it. And,
very much so.
You know, be able to write about it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I get it. I understand why you felt the way you do. A lot of people kind of hear it and then immediately just shut it out because, well, they immediately take it as a criticism of their morality, which is not what's happening.
Exactly. I'm not, and I love Berserk. It's awesome.
Dude, you're
it's
still reading
rad.
it.
I'm still reading. I mean, I keep falling off of it, but I love Berserk. It's rad. It's
but that's not cool. Berserk's fault. It's just because you have ADHD.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I have ADHD too. I can say that.
Yeah. No. Well, even if you didn't, I could say. Actually, correction. I don't have ADHD. I have ADD. But I mean, same difference.
Apologies.
I'm just like less hyper.
Let me correct myself then. It's not Berserk's fault. You just have ADD.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can. Are you gonna like edit around that? You don't have to. It's fine.
No. At most, I'll probably have a gag where I play a rewind noise and then immediately.
You don't have to do any of that. Just like leave it all in. But anyway.
And there's me as the autism just sitting in the corner.
Oh, I have that too.
My tea, going,
I have that too.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm just saying because we're talking about ADHD and ADD, and my brain's like, well, I'll just sit here in the corner, just going, yep.
We could have unironically called this group an AA meeting.
oh,
that's funny.
I'm tempted for that.
Fuck, that's funny. No, I like socially.
Hello,
anxious.
Hello, welcome to the newly reformed podcast. This is the I can't even finish it because I'm laughing.
The Autismo cast.
But yeah, the thing I was getting at though is I understand that because it's like this is I feel like there's a conversation to be had about the fact that even if a material is good, you have to acknowledge that certain subject matter will just never fly with a certain person and they can't handle it, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong.
No, everyone
with
has
that.
Individual tolerances. I just think that like with something as sensitive as, essay, it's I feel like it's better to like I consider it kind of like fridging. You know the term fridging, right?
Yeah, I believe fridging's one of those things that's like a genuinely interesting talking point that's been ruined because everyone throws it out way too often.
It's one of those things where it's I was talking to somebody else about this. It's like the Bechdel test, where it's like it's not something that's like I don't think there's any writing requirements, but there's stuff to be aware of. Like you shouldn't just like write 100%. Stuff to write it. Yeah, you shouldn't just write stuff to write it especially if it's a sensitive subject like that. And there's no rules. You can't there's not anything that's you shouldn't write about or you should write this way, but there's stuff to be aware of.
And it's kind of why I feel that there's like in my nuanced opinion on it, I get why you felt the way you do. I understand that. But I personally believe the way you felt was the intentional feeling. Like, that's how you're supposed to feel.
And that's fine. I think that I'm not criticizing. I'm wanting to have a conversation about, like, why it is the way that it is.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I feel like there's, like... Because, like, a lot of people who don't like Berserk, who've never read it, by the way, most of the time these are people who don't like it because Berserk, unfortunately, attracted a certain fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and the
100%.
thing is... Which, unfortunately, I'm someone who likes stuff like this. I like dark, I like mature stuff like this. You've read the script for my comic. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's like I like this kind of stuff. And by the way, please support this podcast on Patreon and me so that I can afford to fund said comic.
And anyway, also me, so I can keep working on Obsidian Blaze and don't have to worry about commissions, so I can work on your comic.
Yeah,
and also, wait, I don't have a Patreon.
Yeah,
you will after this podcast.
I've done some math, on the script, like we've talked about this before, the first volume of The Vulnerables, which is the comic I'm working on, would cost around $1,000 for me to fund for you to do. Yeah. That's only an estimate, though. It might be more, it might be less. That's just like the baseline, my assumption on how much it would be, which is not bad for you. It's not great for me, but it's not bad for you.
And the amount of work that's going to go into, because I'm still working on Obsidian too, so the amount of work on the amount of effort like working on my comic and yours, like it's going to be. I think that the price is where I'm not like. I shouldn't talk about this because it's my price. We can talk about this some other time. But
here's the thing. I agree. I see. The thing is, I make jokes about it not being good for me, but I want to pay you that much because, again, like you said, once you start, whenever you were working on these, you have to also close your commissions for that period of time. Yeah. And I want to be able to cover that loss because it's literally your income. I mean,
hopefully at that point, my Patreon will be able to support me. By the way, I recently reset my Patreon, so. I think most of the people supported me before are now supporting me again. But either way, I like reset all the tiers because there was a lot of stuff to keep track of, and now there's less stuff for me to keep track of. But anyway, I
also realized that because of this whole topic, I also now need to edit in a content warning at the start of the video now.
Oh shit! Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's why I'm glad these things aren't live and why I get to edit them later.
That's good. Yeah.
I get to put a screen that's like, this is several things that come up in one way or another. Just know I'm going to put penis explosion in there probably because like, and that sounds like that sounds like a joke, but I know people that actually like get like physically unwell when they think of genital mutilation and stuff like that. So it's
no, that's fair. Yeah, you can't, whenever I control what other people are sensitive about.
Meanwhile, whenever I think of penis explosion, I think of that Shark Boy and Lava Girl meme.
What?
Oh my god!
Mr. Electric sent him to the penis exploding chamber.
Had have his penis exploded.
See, okay, can I talk about Shark Boy and Lava Girl for a second? Because I fucking love Shark Boy and Lava Girl so much.
Go ahead.
That is like one of my childhood favorite movies. I'll admit, it's not great. It's honestly, it's probably bad, but I love it.
I never want to hear Taylor Lautner rap as a child ever again.
He didn't rap. Well, he did a little, yeah. Well, he won't hear him rap as a child because he's not a child anymore. But also, speaking of Berserk, Taylor Lautner is if they ever do a Berserk live-action movie, which I kind of hope they don't, I want Taylor Lautner to play Guts. I think he's the only...
I do want to quickly throw out, on the Berserk live-action before you continue, just because you brought it up, I honestly think, especially after seeing One Piece live-action, it's not the worst idea. But it needs to be treated with a respect for the source material that One Piece live action had, but also with the understanding that that would be a mature dark fantasy series.
I mean, Game of Thrones, right?
Kind of like that.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Do that, but cooler and doesn't end poorly.
Oh my god, Game of Thrones. Poor Game of Thrones. You started off so good.
No, that's the wild thing about Game of Thrones to me is when it was running, when it was like at its peak, I couldn't go anywhere without. I couldn't go anywhere without hearing people talk about it. It was like one of the most recognized pieces of pop culture of its era.
It's fucking fantastic.
And then once it ended so badly that nobody cared anymore.
That ending was so bad.
I won't lie. I'm actually going to be 100% honest with you on this.
Yeah.
Now, when Game of Thrones died, I loved it. But then as it kept going on, I had a group of friends that just ruined it for me. Absolutely ruined it for me.
That can happen.
You know the OTT.
That can absolutely happen.
Yeah, it can. And I fell off the series for a long time because I just could not stomach it anymore because I was like, okay, shut the fuck up.
That's what happens
Excuse my French.
No, no worries.
It got so bad. And then when I heard Game of Thrones was not doing well, I purposely went in the Discord call when they were watching it live and I went, so who's fucked up now? And I would giggle every time because I felt... It sounds so bad of me, but I just felt so happy that they were just getting the series ruined.
By the way, on the
honestly,
swearing
fair. That's fair.
I want to quickly throw out on the swearing thing. My plan is that for the Patreon releases of the podcast, which will be the full releases, by the way, they'll be uncensored, and we won't there won't be any covering of swear words. But I feel like for YouTube upload,
of course,
But I feel like for because like after episode 1, which I plan to put out on full for free on YouTube, however, the YouTube version will have this swearing censored for the sake of...
that's a good idea. I feel like that's
good.
And that's a good incentive for people on Patreon too.
I might also leave out certain... I might also like censor certain parts, like the bit we were having about Casca for the sake of YouTube monetization.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea too.
But I'll leave. But I will in the YouTube upload. I'll probably edit in like a fast forward thing, and there'll be like words on the text on like blur on like the visuals we blurred for a bit as the fast forwards, and I'll have text saying this is a bit we talk about something very sensitive. Full version available through the Patreon, something like that.
That's fair.
So
totally
basically,
fair. That's what like Dead Meat
don't
does
worry
and everything. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, don't worry about swearing because the only person who suffers from that is me.
Fair enough.
Because I gotta edit funny bleeps over it.
Fuck yeah! Do it like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, where like they edit in random like fart noises and stuff.
My immediate plan for censoring, because I don't swear, I don't have Whalley censor swear words in my actual videos because I don't care.
Sorry, you're kind of cutting out a little.
Yeah, you were cutting out there.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's unfortunate. 1 sec.
Should be okay.
Okay, so now Taco, since she's away now, let's swear like absolute madmen.
Fuck yeah! I'm tired. I can't come up with anything.
Yeah, don't worry. I was just...
Okay, I'm back.
Yo.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is I have a plan for the swearing. By the way, you guys saying I was cutting out is not going to make sense to people watching this because I'm using the recording audio.
That's fair.
Oh, right,
That's fair.
okay.
I mean, this is all getting cut out in the YouTube release anyway, I assume.
That's fine.
But like the thing is, my plan currently is I'm going to use my plan for the YouTube uploads is I plan to use Kingdom Hearts menu noises for the swearing censor.
That's funny.
It's just it's like the go-to noise for me.
That's funny.
Ow.
I have I kind of want to curb the conversation a little bit to something we were talking about before, but also I have this thing on. So I have a Steam Deck, which is like Steam's kind of console gaming PC thing. It's awesome. I love it. There's this add-on you can get for it called the Audio Replacer mod or something. Like there's a lot of these.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
awesome.
A friend of mine was telling me about them.
It's so cool, and you can like change menu noises, and people like will add different like I have one that's like the Wii U UI or the Wii UI and like the PSP UI.
Oh, that's fantastic!
Yeah, it's great. And one of them is I have the Kingdom Hearts audio. You just reminded me of that, and I had it on for a really long time, and I kind of forgot that like it was an add-on. And I was like, why does my Steam Deck sound so whimsical? Every time I start up a game, it does that little sparkly sound.
That's what's funny is on the whimsical thing. That's something I feel KH does really well. Is that it simultaneously feels like a Square Enix RPG and a Disney thing at the same time. And, and it does this combination of both that just creates this unique feel that nothing else really has.
See, I've talked to you about this, and it's something funny I like to think of in my head because before Kingdom Hearts came out, like no one knew what the hell it was. So I like to imagine some kid like got it for Christmas thinking, oh, this is just like a fun Disney crossover thing. Like I remember I sent you a copy of or I sent you a picture of a Disney Princess Magical Adventure or whatever. Like I imagine some kid got it thinking it was that, some fun Disney crossover or whatever, and then like got sucked into one of the best RPGs of all time. I
mean, I want to throw that out there. That's technically what happened to me.
I know. I know. You told me that, and I thought that's hilarious.
But I say technically because I actually had almost no exposure to Disney before KH.
Really?
So KH is my introduction to both Final Fantasy and a vast majority of Disney. Like I had some of the films already experienced. I had already seen Hercules. I'd already seen, I'd seen movies like that. I'd seen Alice in Wonderland. I'd seen Alice in Wonderland for my entire life, basically.
Cool.
But like, then there was movies like fucking Lion King, which I had never even heard of before.
What?
Same with here's the other one that's gonna make you do that again. Little Mermaid. Had no idea what the fuck that was.
God.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I want to throw this out there.
Wow.
And I want to throw this out there. My first KH game was 2.
That's right. Yeah.
So my introduction to Little Mermaid.
Your husband is so fucking confused.
No, here's the thing. As a kid, I kind of talked about this briefly.
I remember you mentioned this. Yeah.
Roxas, I thought Roxas was just going to be the protagonist, because like I was kind of used to the idea of, we start normal lives and then some inciting incident happens and we go on an adventure. I played these kind of games before. And then fucking Roxas goes, my summer vacation's over and I never see him again and I'm sad.
You see him again. You see him in the end.
No, I know, but as a kid,
I know what you mean. You didn't, yeah.
And then he gives this speech to Sora about how as long as like, they're together, he'll always be there. He's accepted that fate, and it's like, and then Roxas became one of my favorite characters ever for the rest of my life.
Roxas is my favorite, probably my favorite protagonist. I mean, my favorite game, even though I have problems with the name, is 358 over 2 days. That was my first game, because I didn't have a PS2, I had a DS. And actually, speaking of which, I didn't have a PS2 growing up, so my introduction to Kingdom Hearts was the manga. They made manga adaptations. Tokyo Pop produced.
Oh, the manga
I still need to find
They're
the copies
fantastic.
Stupidly enough, this is actually something of a regional thing that I have with like mangaka in general, because they don't release a lot. Like they release all the popular mangaka, like Demon Slayer and etc. Which makes me so fucking glad that JoJo is popular in England.
Hell yeah!
Not gonna lie, I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Kingdom Hearts is the most difficult manga to find in the UK. You have to go to like London or other places just to find any sort of material, like any sort of merchandise of Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
And it annoys me so much because the game series is so popular here as well as everywhere else. But other materials like merchandises and stuff like that, you're literally scouring as if you're on eBay just to find it.
To be fair, it kind of took until mid 2010s for KH merch to get super easy to find in America. Like back when I was a kid, the only way I was able to get the manga was because there was this bookstore in the mall. I say nearby mall, but it was like 30 minutes away from my house at the time. It was the closest mall we had, and my mom would go there because she loves books. And I would always just sort of camp out in the comic and manga section looking for stuff. And I loved KH, so obviously I'd keep getting the.
My experience with that was, first of all, it was just in my local library. And then, second of all, it was... So I'd seen it in a comic store. And I saw, like, this anime boy, and I was like, wait a minute, is that Donald and Goofy? So I was always, like, aware of it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's that Kingdom Hearts, is like that Disney anime thing. And then I saw it in the library, and I got it. And then, that was only the first one. And then, when I went to middle school... the librarian there was a huge otaku, so she just had all this manga. It was awesome. I read first of all, I read something called Toto. Have y'all heard of Toto? No one knows about it.
I know Toto.
You do? Okay,
I'm so
cool.
happy someone else knows.
That's rad.
Sorry, I'm so happy
now.
No,
it's okay. I need to read more of it, but I remember it. It was really cool. It's like Anime Wizard of Oz anyway. But so she had all the Kingdom Hearts manga there, so that was awesome. I would stay in there in my lunch period, because if I went outside I would get bullied and read fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Preaching to the choir here, preaching to the choir on that.
But
do you know
what was the other thing I was gonna say? I totally forgot. But anyway, I wanted to curve the conversation back to something that I wanted to go back to. Whalley, you said you're into Broadway, and I didn't know this. I want to talk about this now.
Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
What are your favorite Broadway shows? Like, you can be as basic as you want. Like, I can go first if you want.
Okay, yeah, no, you go first, because I actually have to think of that. Yeah, so, I need to think.
Okay, so, it's not a Broadway show, it's kind of off-Broadway, but I love Little Shop of Horrors.
No, I can completely understand on that. It's a fantastic show just to watch. It really is.
It's fantastic. I saw it live. It was a high school performance, but it was still great because the puppet was cool. But
yeah,
fucking, this is basic as shit, but I love Hamilton. Love it to
no
bits.
I can understand.
I fucking I've seen it both as like a slime tutorial online, like a bootleg. I've seen it live, like actually. It's not the actual performance, but it was like a traveling, local theater troupe, I guess. And I've seen the Disney Plus version, and I've seen all the animatics that 14-year-olds make online.
Dude, no. The crazy thing about the Hamilton animatics is you can basically watch all of Hamilton.
Well, I mean, the album is the whole musical. There's one song they leave out, and it's
that's
so,
what
like,
I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, Hamilton is like one of the... Hamilton is like entirely musical. Like, there is no...
No, it's sung through. It's fantastic. I love Hamilton.
And the thing is, because of that, because of the animatic culture, because I know you both know this, musicals just have an animatic culture. It's a very
awesome,
very popular genre for animatics, which makes so much sense because, like, you know, animatics are predominantly done by people trying to, like, you know, hone their ability of understanding blocking and all that. You know, it's a whole thing.
The animatics for, sorry to interrupt, but the animatics for the musical, well, it's kind of a concept album series, but it's called Epic, and it's about the
oh yes, I know.
Fucking amazing! It's the one. There's that TikTok audio where it's like, "Let's be honest. I know you're a goddess, so let's be honest. You are Athena.
Yeah,
that's in the like that's what that's from.
Do you know? Since we were talking about like those like AMVs and stuff like that, those animatics. Sorry. The reason I didn't know about Hamilton for a good while, like when it first came out, and that was because I was going through a stage in my life where I wasn't depressed, but you know, like when you just have a void in your life where you're just like,
I'm in there right now,
and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, bless you.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Oh, I'll bring you some British tea.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you, though. That's very sweet. No, I'm good.
No, but,
I actually import my tea for a reason.
Oh, tea's fucking.
Oh, fair enough.
My grandma's British, so she makes the best tea. Anyway, go on about Hamilton.
But
sorry.
But the first time I heard one of their songs was funny enough from the YouTuber Emirichu. Do you know of her? Emirichu?
Hey, yo, I love Emily.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, thank you.
That name's familiar. Let me just look that up real quick.
Okay, I love Emirichu so much. I love her art style especially. That's the main reason why
she's wonderful.
I started watching her. Yeah,
she's lovely.
I started watching her because I love how her stuff looks, and she.
She has beautiful art style.
And I and part of the reason why I love it is because her art is so shoujo inspired, which is not common to find. At least in the storytime at least not in storytime animation, it's not common. And then she fucking married Didus, which was just a shock to me.
Was she married to him? I thought she was just dating him.
No, I believe they're married.
Cool.
Okay, that was private.
What's funny though is Emirichu is the reason I found out about Sea-Dog VA.
No way.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, I love Sea-Dog. Yo, I watched him in Iron Mouse. I watched them hang out. They're fucking
my favorite
together.
I mostly only watch Sea-Dog's videos if they're like his Crane Game videos because I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, no, his Crane Game videos are hilarious.
Have I told you my Crane Game story?
No, you haven't. Actually.
Sorry. Can I just want to finish this little quick thing before you go into. I am so sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. I was interrupting.
But that was how I first got into Hamilton. Is because she did one of those like animation things for one of the songs.
Yeah.
The Burn song that all those women sing.
Oh, I love that one.
I love it way too much. Like if you look at some of my like music tracks, you'll find that on like a near repeat for like how many times I listened to it.
That was me with you're gonna like this one, Dangerous Game from Jekyll and Hyde.
Good man.
Because okay, this is for a very specific reason, because I'm one of those people who likes imagining my OCs singing to the musicals, and I like imagining that one with, there's a character who hasn't been introduced in Obsidian yet and won't be for a while, but her name is Lady Sakura, and she's like pirates. They're kind of a couple, and I imagine them singing it. And that was like number one on my Spotify Wrapped, and I was like, that's a little embarrassing.
See, on the subject of musicals,
the sound of your voice.
I talk about, whenever the subject of musicals comes up,
you
both have talked to me long enough. You know where I'm going with this, but I have to say it.
I think so.
So Death Note the musical.
Okay.
Right?
Oh no! Here we go.
No. Here's the thing.
Walk in his shoes.
I love Death
as long as it takes.
Yeah, that. Death Note the musical is brilliant. Very recently, they actually did an English performance of it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like
it was written by the guy who did Jekyll and Hyde. That's where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I was excited.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But the thing about Death Note that I love is I found it on accident because I've been a weeb my entire life. You know,
of course. Same here.
But when I was a teenager, I was like very much a weeb to like a cringed layer. You know, I'm an adult now, so I'm better.
Based.
Are we going back? Are we going back to the Dove cringe phase of like weeb days of that sort of thing?
This was like it was like a weeb phase where essentially like the thing it was a whole thing. I actually. Like I've told Taco this before. I own the entire scout uniform from Attack on Titan at one point in my life.
Base though. See, a couple months ago, I would have been like, "Ugh, Attack on Titan," but because of my girlfriend, who, by the way, love you. She can't hear me. I think she's asleep. Anyway, she's taking the day off from work because she's sick. Anyway, she got me into Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah. And I also owned Naruto's jacket and the headband because, of course,
also based.
Same. I've got the Naruto headband and costume.
I don't own the jacket anymore because I gave it to like my best friend in high school, who's the only person from my high school I still have contact with to this day.
Sick. Like
she's just genuinely a good person. But anyway, my point is, I found Death Note the musical on accident because in the last 2 years of high school. I was really good. I was a really good student, so I basically had all my credits for graduating done. So I had a lot of downtime, especially in my senior year. My senior year was basically nothing for an entire semester.
Yeah.
So one of my hours I would spend just volunteering in a library, but all I did in that library was basically I just existed there because the librarian really didn't need help with anything.
Right.
So I spent most of that time predominantly watching anime, and if I wasn't watching anime, I was watching tokusatsu, like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider. I actually lost the phone to doing that because the site I was using gave my phone a virus, because of course it did.
Jesus.
I was a teenager who didn't know how to use an ad block on a phone. So I still that phone, by the way, had a Black Butler phone case.
That was my Crane game story, actually. I'll just tell that real quick. So I was playing this Crane game. I was playing this Crane game online. It was like I think it was Toriba, and I wasted a lot of money on it. And the one thing I got out of it was a statue of Sebastian Michaelis. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh,
yeah,
fair enough.
I still have it. It's pretty cool.
I've got an answer to your question of like my favorite stage like performance now.
Yeah,
and this one is very genetic.
Yeah,
but I can never not top this. It's Les Miserables.
I was gonna say that. My mom loves that one. That's my mom's favorite.
Yeah, no, and the reason why.
Javert.
Yeah, the reason why I love that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. The reason why I loved that so much was because, and I'm probably guessing no one's going to know his name right here, was that I got to see the last performance of Phil Quest. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Oh shit!
Perform Stars.
Yo.
For the last time.
I don't know his name, but like that's
his. Yeah, no. If you YouTube his name, like Philip Quest, it's Quas. Yeah, something like that. His performance on Stars was so mesmerizing that to this day, if I ever have the pleasure of performing in Les Miserables, I will literally be seeping his energy into me because
That's awesome. No, Les Mis is based.
Yeah, no, I love Les Mis so much.
Okay, now,
and only because I was actually, and only because as well, I'm in the movie as well.
You are in the. Okay, I was gonna ask about this. So first of all, wait, whoa, back up. You were in the movie?
I'm not seen in the movie.
You're an extra.
But I'm an extra, but also stagehand. So I got to meet Russell Crowe and make his tea. That was the scariest part of my life.
What?
If you know Russell Crowe's behind the scenes dramas, like he's a lovely man, but he can be very kind of.
I was gonna ask, isn't he an asshole?
Kind of, yes. And
how does he take his tea?
Just very quickly, I got to meet Helen Bonham Carter and Sacha Baron Cohen.
Nice? Please tell me she's nice. Please tell me they're both nice.
She gave me a feather for my Trilby hat.
Aww,
and I still have that feather.
That's so nice.
she literally said, "Oh, you're quite an eccentric," and I went, "Oh, I don't think so." Well, not, and she literally said, "Not eccentric enough. Give me a hat, dear." She picked out a feather from. It's so cute, and also, I need if there's any ladies that are listening to this, I need them to hold on. But I met Hugh Jackman.
Oh, fuck!
You met Wolverine.
And what is funny is that I was carrying some film equipment up the stairs because they filmed at one of the halls near where I lived. And it's, you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. I was going to ask what your opinion was on it, but now you're biased, so I can't.
Yeah, no. You know the scene where you see the couple dancing in a hallway and Hugh Jackman saying goodbye to his daughter?
Yes. Vaguely.
Yeah, that's literally 20 minutes drive from where I live.
That's insane. What?
Yeah. And I got to meet Hugh Jackman where he helped me bring up the film equipment and he was like talking in the most gentlemanly Aussie accent, like, "Do you need a hand, mate?"
Oh my god.
And I'm like, sure. See, I don't know how to say thank you. Thank you.
I need to know. You said you made Russell Crowe's tea, right?
Now this is the story, yes.
Oh my god.
I was just a runner, and I had to do a few extras because some didn't show up, but that's a different story. Yeah. But one bit, on the mic, they said, could someone be available to make Mr. Crowe his cup of tea? And you could almost feel the entire atmosphere kind of tense up, like no one wanted to answer the mic. No one did.
I wasn't expecting
because he's very specific.
This for where this podcast to go.
He's very specific on his tea, and I'm actually going to give it in this story context. Yeah. But then someone remembered my name, and all I heard was, "Whalley, are you there?" And because I was absent-minded at the time, I answered the mic and went, "Yeah, I'm here." And they said, "Could you make Mr. Crowe's tea?" Everyone turns their eyes on me, and I'm like, "Sure." And then he goes. And then he's about to say, "Okay, I need you to do this specifically." All of a sudden, you hear rustling on his mic. It's Russell Crowe. And he said, "Right, I need you to make it this specifically."
How does he like his tea?
And he lists off. He gives me an actual percentage of milk, how much long he needs the tea bag in for exact minutes, and he wanted me to measure his sugar contents.
What?
What a fucking guy. What a fucking diva.
What a piece of work.
And this is where I'm so glad I'm autistic, because I remember being I'm that kind of guy in some cases in life. So I got that down to a T. So as soon as I'm bringing his cup, which he had to have a specific mug for, I have to point that out as well.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And it even had his fucking name on the back.
I'm dying today. I'm dying happy today. This is incredible.
Yeah, and I brought the tea.
First episode, everybody. First episode.
This is the best.
Yeah. Oh no! Here's the thing. I'm now walking towards the Russell Crowe with a mug of tea that he has specifically asked for in specific quantities and everything else. Right? Everyone else is looking at me as if I'm about to get my ass beat up. He takes the tea, drinks it, and says, "That was a bloody good tea." And everyone's like around going, "What?" And I'm like, "Thank you, sir." And he went, "What's your name, kid?" And I went, "What? I told my actual name, but I went, but people call me Whalley because it's kind of how I went. You know what, mate? You're going to be a bloody legend when you grow up." Walks away, and everyone's like, "How did you live?" And there's me going, "I need a toilet because I think I shat myself."
Oh my!
I love how we're basically 2 hours into this, and this is episode 1. Wow.
That's oh my fucking fuck. I was okay.
To this day, after
keep going, please, please.
No, and after that day, he would only ask me to make his tea because I could only make it precisely how he would love it.
Hey, you know how I plan to upload certain clips from podcasts to the channel?
There's gotta be a clip.
Yeah.
This is becoming a clip.
Oh, I hope so, because I won't lie, when you invited me to this podcast, I was like, right, I've got 2 stories that I want to tell, the Russell Crowe and the log story. but the Russell Crowe story will be the one for this. The log story can wait.
I was going to make a joke about Russell Crowe, but I don't think anything I can say can follow that up. But I was going to point out the fact that years ago, when he was younger, he was like in a band, I think in the 80s, and he wrote a song called I Want to Be Like Marlon Brando.
That's right, he did.
But what's interesting about that is that years later, he played Jor-El, Superman's dad, also famously portrayed by Marlon Brando.
That's
but
right.
You made him his fucking T, so whatever I have to say, not as interesting.
I still have sweat every time I tell this story, because the worst part of the whole thing for me wasn't the tea making. Yeah. It wasn't the fact that everyone was like going, "Oh, Whaley's a dead man walking. He's gonna die. He may be a college student, but he's dead. He's gonna get his ass kicked or something." Was the walk down towards him. He was in one of the hallways, and it was one of those dramatic shots where you see the hero fight the villain. Oh my God. You know that shot. Yeah. I almost felt
I've read How to Be No Epo.
Yeah, thank you. But I was actually going to say, it was like Polnareff walking up to Dio in the stairs. It was that intense for me.
Sorry, I've blown up my mic so many times. I'm so sorry, Dove.
It's fine. But yeah, no, that was the worst part of the whole thing. I didn't even care if I didn't make his tea right, because then at least I end good or bad. It was the build up.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Did you you said you met Sacha Baron Cohen. Was he nice? Please tell me he's nice.
He's lovely. Okay, and I got to be one of the cameramen when he's getting dragged out of the scenery.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah, that was a weird experience, just to film from his crotch.
I was going to ask you your opinion on the movie, but I guess now you're biased, so...
Wait, are you in the...
be on it.
I just had a thought.
Oh, yeah.
Are you in the credits for this movie, then?
Oh, shit.
No, because I was a college student and a runner, so I was one of the least ones that you don't see in the credits.
Intern, I see.
Fuck.
Oh,
yeah, no, I only got that job luckily because a friend of mine used to work at that said hallway.
That's insane. That's an insane story.
Yeah, no. I absolutely love... a big shout out to Emily for giving me that job, by the way. Big shout out to Emily.
That is a wild story. But sorry, what were you... Yeah, what is your opinion on the movie?
Now, I may have worked on this movie.
Oh, no.
Well, I say like I've worked on it as if I was there from day one.
Yeah.
No, I may have been involved in it. I'll be honest. It's got good stuff and it's got bad stuff, in my humblest opinion. It's... Yeah. I don't know how to really put it. I like it, but I don't love it.
That's fair. It's I know that like hardcore fans of Les Mis don't really like it for one reason or another.
Yeah, no, I've got a friend of mine who is literally a massive stage nut, like theatre nut on this, and he absolutely hates the film. Absolutely abhors.
Oh, that's fair. No, yeah. I mean, filmed version of musicals are rarely good. The best one, in my opinion, is Sweeney Todd.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Love it. And the worst one... Okay, actually, no. I have two versions of worst ones. One is going to make Dove go off. I think you know which one it is. But the worst one is Cats, which I like Cats. I really do like the musical Cats, because I watched it in preparation for the movie, and I thought that was fun. It's a bit weird, but it's fun. The movie's weird. But anyway, the other one that I know is the worst, and is going to make Dove blow her top real quick. Dear Evan Hansen.
Okay, here's the fucking
here
thing.
We go. Okay.
Okay.
Knew it.
Okay. I'm okay. I did that because you said I was going to blow up, so I had to do that at least.
No, I understand.
I like Dear Evan Hansen, the stage show. If you will permit me to explain, you motherfucker.
No, keep going. I just wanted to...
I'm not actually angry at you. I thought that'd be
funny.
No,
I know. It's okay. I can talk. Say why you like it, and I'll say why I don't.
Here's the thing. I 100% get why you don't like it, because you also don't understand Scott Pilgrim. But the thing is,
I don't have to understand it. It sucks.
It doesn't, but we're not getting into that. The movie's not great. That much I'll say. But the books are genuinely brilliant.
Oh, you're talking about Scott Pilgrim now.
Yes, I am. But back on Dear Evan Hansen.
Sorry. You said the movie's not great, and I was like, the Dear Evan Hansen movie? You hate that movie? What are you talking about?
I was going to get that. Dear Evan Hansen, the movie, is a dumpster fire. I paid real money to see in a theater.
You got to see that weird puffy face sing at you.
I was pretty close. I was actually in like center, so I had like best seats possible.
You got to see his weird makeup, that 30-year-old man trying to be a high school student with his weird makeup-covered face,
but here's the thing.
And his sad puppy eyes.
The reason why Dear Evan Hansen the movie isn't good isn't because Dear Evan Hansen isn't good. It's because they literally cut out everything that makes Dear Evan Hansen work as a story. Because the whole idea behind the narrative is that Evan as a person is someone that only got caught up in this lie originally because he didn't want to upset the parents of Connor. I almost called him Murphy. I'm not done. And here's the thing. He does, because like he immediately wants to open up to it. He immediately wants to tell them, Connor didn't write this note. I did. I wrote it to myself. Connor took it from me. But when he starts saying, I didn't write this, the mom starts freaking out. The father tries to console her. He sees how much this means to her, and he lies, which is not a good thing. He shouldn't do this.
No.
But he's also like 14.
And socially awkward and like has anxiety and stuff.
That's part of the reason why they shouldn't have cast Ben Platt for the movie, because it's like he's 30. So this vibe does not work at all.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that like that's that sort of thing, like him lying to the family, that's all believable. That's part of what I don't like about the musical. It's believable if it's like an actual kid, and I know he's not an actual kid on stage, but on stage your suspension of disbelief is there. That doesn't work if it's a fucking 30-year-old man in weird creepy ass like corpse makeup, like looking like Danny DeVito in that one episode where he's like hosting a pageant in Always Sunny. That doesn't work.
Like the movie also cuts out basically every song that I really like, which, I mean, I like the songs. I like a bunch of the songs they kept, but they cut out like my two favorite songs for some inane reason, and both of those songs, hilariously, are important to the musical working. The first one is the actual opening number of the show, Anybody Have a Map,
right? Yeah.
Which is the song from the perspective of Connor and Evan's moms, respectively. Because, you know, the parents are a core part of the story. Unfortunately, the movie fails them. The second one is my favorite song, Good For You, which is essentially the song where every motherfucker in the musical gets to have a song verse about how Evan fucked up and is being a jackass.
They cut that out of the movie. That's like I don't know much about the musical except that I don't like it, but I know that like part of it is that I don't like Evan as a character because I think him lying is a really bad thing, and that he gets forgiven too easily for it. And even though he gets like I know, but even though he gets sung at it, that's a really shitty thing to do. No, and I don't think he should be forgiven at all.
He's not forgiven. That's the real thing.
He's not. I know, but like everyone's like, oh, he's such a soft boy. It's like no, he's not. That was bad of him to do it, but like, in the movie, it's worse.
Yeah, in the movie. But here's the thing: in the show, Evan loses everything at the end. Like I hear this criticism all the time. No offense to you, but I hear this criticism all the time that Evan doesn't get punished enough. What else do you want to happen to this child? Because he lost quite literally everything. Everything he gained from lying about Connor, he doesn't have by the end. He literally is hated. He's hated more by the school than he was at the start. He doesn't even have his quote unquote friend anymore, Jared, because Jared never really liked him to begin with, and he's not going to tolerate his existence after that. Right. The only amount of forgiveness Evan ever gets is from Connor's sister, and even then, she's still upset with him, doesn't want to date him, and at most, the only thing she gives him is I kind of understand why you did it sort of thing. Right. And it's like...
maybe I need to like actually like kind of sit down and watch that, because I've only seen like the songs.
Yeah, the songs don't... The songs are funny because out of context, you'd think this musical is some kind of like story of a guy who literally is like in a gay relationship with a man that died. Because, like, fucking Sincerely Me has an entire lyric about how,
not because we're gay kind of thing.
Yeah, that whole bit.
Which I thought was funny.
But what's funny about it is that literally every motherfucker who only knows about Dear Evan Hansen through the animatics ships Evan and Connor. But when they actually watch the musical, they stop doing that because they realize, oh, they didn't know each other, and Evan's kind of a dick.
Okay, I just need to get a new perspective on it, I think. But anyway, I don't. You know what? It is to me what. Okay, so people don't like. You know the musical Rent?
I know about it because when I walked into those lounge areas colleges have.
Yeah.
I walked into the lounge area and someone I knew was watching it on the TV in that area. It was like one of those live performances that's like recorded.
Okay.
And they were watching it. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, this is Rent. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then they tell me the brief premise. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I'll have to check that out later. I should probably not watch the rest of it because you're midway through it.
It's really good. I do like it.
Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting about it until someone mentions it.
One of the characters from Obsidian is directly inspired by a character from Rent, actually. I think what is her name in Rent? Mimi, the character inspired Cho in Obsidian. So
quick question, where are you going with the Rent thing?
I was saying that people don't like it because it's very, like, I know at least Chris O'Neill, Oni plays, Oni NG, sorry. He doesn't like it because it's like, he thinks the characters are all, like, very entitled. Like, oh, my parents keep calling, like, to check how I'm doing. Like, ugh, let me live my own life, mom and dad. And it's like, shut up. But, I mean, I feel like Rent is to, like, millennials what Dear Evan Hansen is to Gen Z, I guess. And I think that's why I don't like it, because I'm an old man and I don't like these darn kids on my lawn. I think that's why. Okay. Sorry. There's another reason I don't like Dear Evan Hansen. And there's a song in it. I don't know what it's called, but it sounds exactly like the worst song, or not the worst song, but the song I hate the least from Greatest Showman, which is This Is Me. It's just this big anthem song where it's like, you're not alone kind of thing.
Are you? Like, I know what you're referring to then.
Yeah.
You're referring to You Will Be Found.
Yes, I hate it. I hate songs like that. I really do. I hate these big anthems for like, you're not alone. We can do it. It's like, shut up.
Here's my thing about You Will Be Found, and this is a very important thing. You Will Be Found on its own, removed from the context of the musical, is a really nice song about how you're not alone and that if you're genuinely considering suicide, that it's not the answer, which it's beautiful and it's moving and it's well composed and everything. And it's great.
Now you're making me sound like a dick for not liking it.
No.
I know. It's being funny.
There's a reason I specified without the context, because in context, it's Evan giving a speech about Connor that's one, not real, because fun fact, he never knew Connor. And two, it's more about his own feelings in his own life rather than Connor. And the way I've always taken it, because I could be wrong, but you know, art interpretation, you know how this works, is the way he describes You Will Be Found is, in his mind, he was alone and uncared about and felt like he could just disappear and no one would care.
Right.
But then he got all this attention and love from people because he started lying about another guy. So, like, in context, it's kind of a villain song on accident.
Isn't that what's her name? Jenny Nicholson said the same thing. It's a villain song.
Probably. I don't watch Jenny Nicholson, mostly because she was kind of weird about John Boyega at one point, but
yeah, I remember I saw some tweets about that. I think it was taken out of context, but I don't think she explained herself well enough. But either way, I think she's very funny. Even though she doesn't make videos, she like appears out of the mist every couple of years to like make a video about like Littlefoot.
The last video of hers I watched was her Avatar video. Don't even know why. I'm not really super connected to Avatar, but
like Avatar Land at Disneyland.
Yeah, it was about that. But she was specific. But anyway,
yeah, sorry.
Now it's funny because the Avatar I do have a connection with is the Nickelodeon one. I wanted to get into this. So the thing is, I made a joke about your opinion on Scott Pilgrim earlier.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was not meant to be taken offensively. It was mostly...
No, I didn't. I know it's popular and I don't like it, so I understand why people make fun of me.
And the thing is, I want to say this, and this isn't me getting onto you, it's more of just a personal thing, because the anime, and it's an actual anime, by the way. The anime is coming out soon, and I feel like this is important to say, but people aren't going to listen to me anyway. I always get kind of annoyed when people go, why does nobody remember that Scott's dated a minor? Motherfucker, did you read the books? It's the first scene. The first scene in the first volume is Kim, Steven, and Neil all making fun of Scott for dating a teenager. Like, the first couple of panels are them making fun of him and calling him out for being so lowly and pathetic that he has to date a 17-year-old. Because the thing is, Scott sucks. And before someone says, why don't they like, you know, anyone stop him? Because his friends kind of suck too. But they're like, go on. They suck in a different way. Because the thing about Scott Pilgrim is that it's about a bunch of things. And one thing about it, and this is why I kind of understand why you don't really vibe with it, because I've kind of come to the realization you don't really like when stories are about bad people. No offense.
I don't, because okay, I was gonna save this for later, but I'll say it now. I hate Scott Pilgrim as much as I hate Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He's this entitled little brat, and I don't like him.
He's supposed to be. That's the thing.
I know, and I don't like it.
No, that's not me saying you're wrong. It's me saying that's the intention. You are literally proving that the writing is good because that's Scott's character.
And you know what? Okay, I will say this. I've been trying to accept things more that just because I don't like them doesn't mean they're not good. Clearly, I'm missing something with Scott Pilgrim. Clearly, I'm missing, because the stuff that's intentional, like you're saying, I don't like. So it's just not for me. So it's not bad. I just don't like it.
That's why when I wanted to get into this, it's not me trying to get onto you. It's more of a personal thing. People miss a lot of things about Scott Pilgrim. Like, for example, you get people bringing up how Scott's like a groomer and everything, and it's like, yeah, but like, and this is not excusing it, because I'm not. He shouldn't do this. Yeah. But what it's done is Brian Lee O'Malley made him do that as like an immediate sign that he's pathetic, that he's a loser, that he's lame, that you're immediately supposed to understand that he's an immature child in a grown man's body who doesn't understand anything. And as the comic went on, you start to learn that he's kind of been awful to every woman he's ever dated. But he lacks the self-awareness to realize that it's him that's the problem. Right. He builds up Envy Adams, my favorite girl in the whole comic, by the way, as like the worst, like as this evil vindictive ex that like changed, and like, oh, she changed, and it, you know, she used to be so nice and then she wasn't. And then you learn, no, the problem was that he didn't listen. He never listened to her. He never fucking cared about her as a person. And when she started like being her own person and pushing back, he didn't like that, so he left.
Yeah. Okay. Also, oh, sorry. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to quickly mention. And the other thing about Scott is he'll constantly he'll gaslight himself so that he never has to come to terms with the fact that he's the bad guy. Like, the way he talks about Knives is that, oh, I broke up with Knives and it was mutual, when he actively waited several weeks to like months, depending on what version you're watching or reading, before he broke up with her officially, because he was scared of having to deal with that. Right. And it's like, and it got to a point where he cheated on her with someone else. And of course, as you may or may not know, Ramona and Knives both don't like this fact. But what's funny is him doing this led to Knives going after Ramona like violently, because the world of Scott Pilgrim, people just fight each other randomly and it's not a problem.
Yeah. Also, there's characters named fucking Knives.
Yeah, it's like, they just fight each other because Knives believes Ramona stole Scott from her, when Ramona didn't even think they were dating. Because again, Scott lies to every woman he's ever dated. And Ramona's not a good person either, because when you actually look into the evil exes, you start to realize most of them aren't evil. Fucking Lucas Lee is the chillest motherfucker when Scott comes to confront him. That's the guy played by Chris Evans. He's the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's part of why I'm looking forward to the anime, because my hope is with a more complete adaptation, people will get this, because the movie's not bad. But I feel like one of the problems the movie had is, one, they actually de-aged Scott a little so he was younger, so that the age gap with him and Knives was less bad. It's not, by the way. Because in the movie, he's 22 instead of like 24, and it's like, that's not better. That is not better.
No, it's not better.
And it's like, I also don't think Michael Cera in that movie was the greatest choice for Scott. He's doing a lot better in the clips I've seen of the anime, because they got the movie cast back for the dub.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
And I think he's a much better voice actor, all in all. Like, I like Michael Cera when he's in a lot of things.
I didn't like him
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but I hear it's great.
He's great in it. He's Alan, Ken's friend, who everyone doesn't like. Or it's not that everyone doesn't like him, it's just that he's not even there kind of thing. I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt, but I was gonna say about you saying that I don't like stories about bad people or whatever. I will partially agree with you. I like stories that are about good people who are trying to be bad, or like because I'm thinking of like Breaking Bad, for example. Like Walter White, I kind of deep down I think Walter White is kind of a good person.
I don't agree.
Kinda. Not really, but he's trying to be this like intimidating monster of a man, but he's really not. He's pretending, and it's the same thing with Jotaro in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's a fucking dork. He's this like nerd who's like trying to be all cool and edgy, and like his mom sees right through it. That's why she doesn't mind when he like calls her a bitch. Like if Jotaro was actually like that, I'd probably hate JoJo, because my thing
with Walter is I don't think that's the case. What I believe about Walter White personally is that I think he's a bad person who's just always found reasons not to be. Because the thing is, when he gets the cancer, his mind immediately goes to, I can cook meth now. He doesn't go to any other result. He denies any other kind of thing. He just immediately goes towards, I'm going to die with this, and I'm going to live up being a drug lord until I'm dead. And it's like, because like I feel like this is kind of not a brilliant realization. I feel like people have realized this before. Breaking Bad is partially a criticism of toxic masculinity and what it does.
It absolutely is. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's like The Sopranos in that way, because that's also
or I hate to bring it up again, but or Barbie.
And what's funny about this is, here's the thing. I joke about being a weeb, and 90% of the things I talk about are like comics and manga and shit, and a lot of video games. Video games are what I talk about the most. It's my YouTube channel. But then I'll bring up a reference to The Sopranos out of nowhere, and no one's seeing it coming.
That did caught me off guard a little bit. I think I'm just too tired to realize it. But yeah, but I you know what? I think what my description of a character is more suitable for Hank than Walter, because Hank, I believe, is like a really, really great guy who's just trying to play up this tough guy persona. He actually reminds me of Jotaro a lot, which is weird to say.
Hank's problem's that he's a little conservative in some places, but he's never outwardly malicious.
I honestly think he's my favorite character. I love.
Oh no, he's great. Yeah. One of my favorite scenes in Breaking Bad is when it's the scene with him and Walter at the trunk, and there's like that bag full of like meth and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then Hank's like, "What's in this?" Yeah, and then Walter just
cash.
Walter tells him directly what it is. It's the money. It wasn't drugs. It was money from the drugs. And then he tells him the honest truth, and he takes it as a joke, because genuinely, of course he would. Of fucking course he would.
Yeah. I love Hank, because he's a dumbass, but like I don't know. I think the scene that made me really like him was when there's a scene where they're like in an elevator or something, or like it's him and Marie, and it's just like a genuine moment where they're alone, and he's like. It's just like he kind of like lets his emotions go around her. I can't remember exactly how the scene goes, but it was a very nice scene. Yeah. Anyway, he's my favorite character in the show, because he does remind me a lot of Jotaro. Just like Jotaro, he's a tough guy. Yeah, but he's not.
The thing you mentioned about Jotaro is interesting, because this is the first time I've really thought about why Whalley doesn't care about why Jotaro talks.
My girlfriend pointed this out.
I never gave it much thought, because part 3 is, I like it. I like every part of JoJo, but it's kind of on the lower end for me personally.
That's my favorite part.
No, fair enough. It's a good part. Okay, I will never judge anyone for what their favorite JoJo part is, because every JoJo part is pretty fucking amazing.
They're all different too. Like if you
they're all completely different.
Like if you like Mafia, then you're gonna like part 5. If you like prison stuff, you're gonna like part 6. If you like horse races, get ready for part 7.
I've told you this.
If it ever
I've
gets
said
animated.
this before.
Exactly.
Wally, I don't know if I ever told you this, but did you know Giorno was originally conceived as a woman originally?
Yeah, 100%. You can see signs in it throughout the manga and also the anime.
What's funny is it's why Giorno's powers is to create life from nothing.
Interesting.
And what's funny?
You told me this.
Here's a funny thing. Giorno's kind of already kind of a controversial protagonist for people, because like some people, you either really like him or you don't, and there's like no in between. I find
he's my second favorite JoJo. I'd say.
I feel like if Giorno had been a woman, the people who don't like Giorno would be a lot louder and a lot worse.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. She's a girl boss at this point.
And what's funny is that Giorno's not the only example of this, because Araki wanted to eventually reveal that Abakio was trans.
Yes, I remember you told me this too.
There was a lot of hinting towards Abakio being a trans woman who hadn't properly like realized who she was. And the tragedy is that there's no evidence to say that she still isn't. And if you live with that headcanon, if you live with the idea that Abakio is a trans woman, Abakio
really
dies.
Yeah,
Abakio dies before she ever gets to make that realization. And I've talked about this with you before, but I never said this to Whalley. I think that's also why there's like this initial rivalry between Abakio and Giorno. I think there was supposed to be some kind of like setup.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing. It's
it's 100%.
It's like once you connect the dots after I say it, you realize it is kind of a goofy way to base a rivalry, but
it's
like
a little like. But I mean, it's Araki we're talking about here.
But this is the same guy.
The way he writes women, it makes sense.
This is the same guy who, wrote a plot point where it's like, come on, Giorno, drink the tea, and then he does it and it's fucking jellyfish tooth. Fucking.
No, but I mean, the way Araki writes women, especially, I'm thinking about, like, the fight with Mariah in part 3, where, like, I don't know, I would never call Araki sexist. I just find
he's
that
gay.
He tries. Is the best way you can put it.
I don't know, the way he writes women is very funny. To me, I would never call it sexist, but it's
reminder: Araki can be quoted as saying that he doesn't believe you need a woman to tell a love story. This man likes men.
Oh yeah,
and like the thing is, I feel like I like the women in JoJo quite a lot.
Me too.
One, the first time I got to the Mariah fight, and there's that bit with like the screws that make it look like her boobs are growing.
Oh yeah.
I had borderline the same face that Joseph did in that scene. First
I won't lie. I've got to admit to something. I was watching when Dove kindly said watch JoJo and then pushed my face into the monitor to watch it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, when I was watching that part for the first time ever, and it got to that scene, I had a very awkward moment where I had my cousin staying with me for a few days.
Oh no!
And yeah, when she came into the room on that bit, the face she pulled was exactly the face I was pulling, and it was almost like a mirror image. Like, what's the best example? Gold Experience Requiem, when he was doing that, mindfuck with Diavoro. It was that, almost mirror. I was, Joseph was doing the eye thing. I was doing the eye thing, but also panicking because my cousin just walked in on a very awkward moment. But she was also doing the eye thing. And then she walked out by going, you're into what you're into with anime, I guess.
that makes me wonder.
Because how do you explain it? How do you explain that?
Well, thankfully, she stayed in when the bolts came up and she realized that she was attacking it. But because of what she's heard of anime, she was like, I don't think that was an attack. I think that was a sex thing. And it was like, no, it was an attack.
If you want a sex thing, look at what happens with Joseph and Abdul.
That whole episode is like. Also, have you seen the But Really Really Fast series by Viva Reverie? I think that's how you pronounce her name.
I think
it's the funny JoJo parody series.
Yeah, it inspired me to make
Condensed.
I have. Yeah, there's a part in it where in the part 3 video, Polnareff, Jotaro, and Joseph and Abdul like come together after their separate adventures. And they all say at the same time, "You wouldn't believe what we just went through." And then everyone except Jotaro says, "It was weirdly sexual." And Jotaro's like, "What?" Because at the same time this is happening, Polnareff is doing that whole Alessi thing where he's like a kid and that girl is like giving him a bath. Yeah. And it's weird and uncomfortable.
Speaking of like your people walking in when you're seeing something involving massive boobs, I have to wonder, Whalley, you've been editing for me for almost 3 years.
Oh, well, yeah, I've actually got a story for this. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was
I do too,
curious if
actually.
this
I'll
has
let you
happened.
tell yours first, but I have a story about it too, actually.
One day when I was, funny enough, it was actually the first video I edited for you for the Scooby-Doo one.
Mm.
And during
yes,
this
the
time,
first chapter.
yeah, the first chapter of many events. But as I was editing that video, I had my parents round for just to help me with my help me round the house, shall we say, because I'm a homeowner, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And I thought I would take a break, and during sometimes to relax, funny enough, I'm a bit weird this way, I love to edit, just random things.
That's
and
fair.
I thought, I'll get a few bits of Dub's video done. And the bit I was editing was funny enough where Emily and Dove are in front of the van going, oh wow, you really thought about this, near towards the halfway point of the final.
I believe either it's in the later half of the video.
Yeah. I can't remember seeing I can't remember specifically, but it was
it's been about 2 years, almost 3.
Yeah. But it was at that bit, and as I was editing a few bits of movements here and there, my mum walks in with a box and just says, hey, I've got something for your office. I don't know if you want... And then she stops, sees 2 animated women with big bazungas, drops the box right on her foot, and then looks me dead in the eye and goes, so which one is yours?
What?
What do you mean, which one is you?
What does that mean?
What
Just
does
to let you know,
mean?
I know, I was so confused by that, because I was just turning around casually as you said that, and of course, when she dropped the box, because I said it landed on her foot, I was more concerned about, helping my mum. And she then goes, well, you're editing someone else's video, and obviously they're women? Because she hasn't got headphones, she doesn't know they're the same person, sort of thing.
Right.
So she thought I was doing editing for favors.
Oh no!
So I had to explain to her, no, I met this friend, she wants to make YouTube videos, and I volunteered as editor, and I explained everything, and she kind of calmed down and went, oh, okay. And then she paused for 5 seconds and goes, so about the... And I went, Mum, voluptuous vampire. And she went, oh, okay, and walks out of the room.
I have a similar story. My mom has not actually seen the videos or the art that I've made for Dove. But we were just talking about my career as an artist and kind of where it was going. And because she knows about Obsidian, she knows about my animation. She hasn't really seen them. She is supportive of what I do, but she doesn't really it's not, she's not the target audience for it, so she doesn't really like it.
Yeah.
It's not that she doesn't like it, it's just not her thing. But anyway, I mentioned that I do art for a YouTube channel, for instance. One of my friends runs a YouTube channel, Mr. Stub, and she asked me to do all the art for her videos, and it's really cool. And my mom was like, oh no way, let me what's the channel's name, let me look it up. And I'm like, you wouldn't like it, it's not really your thing. She's like, I don't care, that's not my thing, I want to see it. And I'm like, no.
I did.
So she was like, oh, all right, because she knows sometimes I don't like her looking at my art. So yeah.
There is
she has not seen it.
There is actually another story which, I will be honest, is a little bit of a similar story with my mum with this.
Oh yeah, I hate to interrupt, but
how the fuck am I a source for so many of these stories?
I hate to interrupt here, but it is we've been recording for over 2.5 hours, so I think after we tell this story, we should probably wrap this up.
Oh yeah, sure. No worries.
Yeah,
it's a very quick. It's more or less a similar line of the first story, but this was.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, this should be the last kind of anecdote we tell here, and then we can wrap.
Oh yeah. But this is with my dear old nan, who sadly isn't with us anymore, unfortunately. Yeah.
R.I.P.
But you'll love this. You'll absolutely love Nana Whalley here. See, one of the things I like to do when I'm editing either Dub's videos or mine is I sometimes like to download bits of my editing like bits of clips to my phone so I can like review it and like look over stuff and see what I can improve and which one.
Do the same thing.
Yeah. So one day I was just editing, I think it was, I think it was your Black Sad video. And it was the opening skit where Dove has got her detective hat and everything else. And I was just around my nan and granddad's home at the time, just, you know, visiting them, and I decided while granddad's like getting the tea ready and everything, I decided to just have a quick look at the clip just to see what I can improve and etc. And I think this is where I got the idea of the whiteboard for your behind bit in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was just reviewing it, and it was just getting to the bit where Emily just slowly walks on, and without me noticing, my nan had looked over my shoulder and goes, and she literally says in the sweetest way possible, "Oh, those look like lovely young ladies." And,
that's adorable.
Yeah, and I had to explain, because strangely enough, my nan was very open-minded about these things. She actually went, "Oh, well, so it's not like an anime." All right. No, I edit it, and I explained who Dove was and etc. And she went, "Oh, that's lovely. So she's an American, is she?" Yeah, she is. Okay. I didn't know you were into that sort of thing. Nan, please.
What the fuck?
But she says it so casually that you can't hate her for it. She's like going at me like, "Oh,
of course not."
Okay, but like, I have to question that. Is American a fetish over there?
No, in a weird way, it was because she was just surprised you were American.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, she doesn't. She understood the internet, but she didn't understand like I could talk to you right now sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. That reminds me of my grandma trying VR for the first time.
Oh Lord.
She didn't really try it, but I have an Oculus Quest, and she was over, I think for Christmas, and we were all playing Beat Saber, and she just saw us like waggling our arms around, and she's like, "Oh, what do you do?" She's British too, but I can't do the British voice. And I was like, "Nana, you want to try VR?" And she's like, "Oh, all right, I'll take a look." And like she looks through the headset and says, "No, thank you."
No, but one thing that I will say that ended that story on a lovely note, which is exactly what my nan does, because she always taught me to be a gentleman. And she actually said, and I think Dub will love this, she actually said, "Oh, well, I hope you look after Dub's videos, because she sounds like a lovely young lady."
Aww.
I love that.
She gave me that sort of grandma thing to say, well, treat the women lovely in your life, you know, treat them like a gentleman.
That's
and
the sweetest shit.
I hope, yeah, and she actually said, and I quote, "I hope she brings great success to you and herself." Yeah, it's so...
That's wonderful.
I miss you, Nan.
Oh,
I miss you so much. Yeah.
She sounds amazing.
She was. She really is.
But yeah, I think we're like fucking almost 2 hours and 40 minutes into this, so I think...
Yeah, I was gonna... if we were still going around the 3-hour mark, I was going to say something, because I feel like, in my mind, I feel like 3 hours is a good length, especially, you know, because I feel like we'll be doing these fairly frequently, because they're kind of... They're fairly easy to record.
Yeah, they're very easy.
Absolutely.
I was kind of curious, did you guys want to, like, okay, so... After the first video is like prepped, because the first video will have the most effort put into it before it goes up, because like, you know, after the first episode goes up, it's essentially just record, I put the stuff together, you know, put the image there, make a second version that's censored for YouTube, you know. Well,
yeah.
The second version comes after. We don't have to do that immediately, obviously. Right. And like, you know, since most of it's just lining up audio, it won't be super long. So I was wondering if we should do the recordings like weekly or bi-weekly is really the question.
I mean, I'm down for weekly, but I just, with how busy. I say busy. I'm really more holding my head in my hands, going like, I have so much shit to do, and then not doing any of it. But
I was thinking bi-weekly, so that if like anything happens, we can like.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad. Bi-weekly.
Yeah, that's not bad. That
might be good.
Yeah, because I will be honest, lately my life's been like, as you know, Dove, as you probably already know from like some of the messages I've sent you, it's been up and down lately. It's been like a roller coaster.
I get you.
I think it's funny that the last bit of this podcast after the conversation about your Nan is going to be us discussing what we're doing for the future.
Well, I assume this part's going to get cut out of the YouTube release, but I mean...
Well, it's funny... Well, yeah, this bit will probably get cut out of the entire thing. Like, I'll probably fast forward through this bit.
I don't have to cut... No, you should release the unedited audio. That's what Weekly Planet does. They on Spotify, they release, like, the unedited version.
Yeah, no, I just meant, like, for, like, any like, this part's not going to be heard by the YouTube
Oh, yeah,
audience,
exactly.
Because, like,
no, that's
the YouTube audience is getting, like, clips and sections as, like, advertising.
Yeah.
Because, like, as hard as it is for me to remember this podcast, because it was the only one I really followed back in the day, because half the people in it were like, well, not half, but like a major part of it was a bad person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the Cheshire Cat Studios podcast. I used to listen to that shit a lot.
You told me about it.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing most people know, the only member from it most people know now is B-Mask, who makes analytical content on YouTube now. He's great still.
Yes.
And
I know,
I think
yeah, I spoke to B-Mask. I speak to him quite frequently.
Yeah, I think you what?
He's in one of my videos.
Whalley, I need a big favor
from you. I think
from
you two have some stuff to talk about after this podcast. You met Russell Crowe, you met fucking B-Mask.
I need you to understand, there is a massive favor. Anyway, so here's my thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later. I don't want to like do the plans in the audio.
Absolutely. We're almost 3 hours in. We gotta wrap
I will
this up.
say, the Cheshire Cat Studio is like my go-to example for podcast, because it's the one I used to watch the most. Well, listen to, but you get the point. And what they would do is with the YouTube videos, they would upload those, and there'd be like select moments they'd cut between. Like they'd even have like a transitional clip. Like I can't explain it, but it's like the way they would like signify they're going from one clip to another.
I gotcha.
And my idea was to upload videos to the joint channel for this podcast, which again will be created alongside the Patreon.
Yeah.
By the way,
we can maybe talk about the technical stuff like when we're not recording, I think.
Yeah, obviously. But what I'm getting at is I think bi-weekly will work for us, because that way it's like at least like 2 episodes a month, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm down for bi-weekly. I'm down for bi-weekly. We should also. I want to have like guests on at some point. Like,
of course.
My girlfriend really wanted to record with us, but I was telling her like maybe not for the first episode, but like later.
I think. Okay, that gives me a great idea. I think for the image that'll accompany the videos, you know how I mentioned that there'd be you, Whalley, and then me with Mistress standing behind my chair.
Of course.
If since I said to use Poker Night's table setup as the idea, there could be a 4th spot that's like
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same, and we could do like.
And then
I'm sorry.
You keep hold of the assets, so you can just like draw people there without having to redraw the whole image.
That's what I meant. Like I could do one that's like just us, and then like another one that's kind of like for 4 guests, and like I can edit it another one if we have like more than one guest kind of thing.
I think the poker table is a good idea, because then you don't have to explain the 4th chair, because poker tables are just designed with 4 chairs.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I wasn't gonna go with I wasn't gonna go with an actual. Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was just going to say, because you've mentioned Poker Night, it just reminds me that I love the voice actor who does the, like, welcome to tonight's entertainment, that sort of, what's his name? That guy who just introduces you to everyone, who leads you to the table.
It's kind of funny that Poker Night has lore. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it like all the Telltale Games characters like get together after
the
games are done? I love that. See, my favorite thing is, so I grew up with like Homestar Runner, so I knew Strong Bad, and I knew nobody else from that game. And like I can only imagine what it must have been like for everyone else, like seeing, because I feel like Homestar Runner is the most obscure character on that roster, or Strong Bad is at least.
I was a big fan of Telltale as a kid because I liked Sam and Max, and I liked Sam and Max because I liked Monkey Island, because I found the games on Xbox Live Arcade, and I found 1 and 2 were on that, and I really liked point and click adventure games as a kid, which I didn't play them on PC. I played them exclusively on console. I was in the trenches back in the day. And
I loved point and click event. I've still got the original case for Monkey Island 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. A friend said they were gonna gift me their physical copy because they don't really care for point and clicks, but they felt like someone like a fan should own it.
Fair.
But they also then got hospitalized and almost died, so I understood why it took them a bit.
I would like to say one thing about Telltale, and then please, I'm getting really tired.
It's
okay. But I have one thing to say about Telltale.
We will absolutely pick up the Telltale discussion next recording session. By the way, I just want to quickly say the next recording session will happen after we get the bulk of the setup for this episode set up. So like all that'll be left is for me to like make the video, and we can go from there.
Of course. I just have one last thing to say about Telltale. They made a game, or a series of games, well, 2 of them, based on Jeff Smith's Bone. And nobody knows about it, and I'm mad about it, because I fucking love Bone, and I'm mad at Netflix for canceling the animated series. That's all I want to say.
It was like the only thing I knew about Bone for years, because I only knew about it because Telltale made it.
Fucking love Bone! It's the best comic series ever!
Fun fact, one of the Sam & Max Telltale games has a reference to it, because the guy who voices Sam also voiced Bone. The main Bone.
The
main one.
Phone Bone.
Phone, I think it's Phone. The one without the main character. I've unfortunately still haven't read these books. But the thing is, what's funny is there's a prop from the Bone games in the background, and if you inspect it, Sam will say a line in the Bone in his phone Bone voice, and Max will be like, and Max will say something to the effect of, "You okay there?"
That's funny. Anyway, yes.
But I do think 3 hours is a good limit for these, because that's long.
Yeah,
that's long enough for a solid episode. You know, if someone needs it in the background.
Absolutely.
That'll be pretty neat.
Yeah, this was fun. So, I'm looking forward to doing more of these.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I fucking love doing this.
I'm gonna start doing
this was great.
Art for this as soon as we end the recording.
But yeah, I do think doing the poker table idea is great.
Yeah. Well, of course you think it's great. It's your idea.
Well, yes, but I also think it works because the fourth chair doesn't have to be explained, and then when a guest is added, you can add them.
Yeah.
It also means you can play around with the dynamic of our characters playing it. This is going to be the goofiest thing, but I think it'd be really funny if all of us had different card types.
Like I have Pokemon cards, and one of us has like...
Well, we know what cards I'm getting. I'm getting the chain of memory cards.
Oh, of course. Okay, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Okay,
I must request... Cards. I must request Digimon cards for me.
Digimon? Alright, okay.
Yeah, I used to play them a lot as a kid. Like, obviously I was Yu-Gi-Oh fan and everything, but Digimon cards I was the only fan of, and I wanted to represent that.
Of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Alright, I think...
And whenever we have guests, we can ask them what cards they want for
it's like Chuckle Sandwich when they ask people like, okay, what part of the sandwich are you? Watch Chuckle Sandwich. It's Ted Nevison.
That is such a funny sentence. What part of the sandwich are you? That's like what's your favorite dinosaur? Well, what superpower would you have?
But it's the one episode I remember the most when they did that was back when Charlie Slimesicle was still on the podcast. So for those who don't know, it's Ted Nevison and Jay Schlatt. It used to be Charlie Slimesicle, but he left. And it was them, and they had Justa Minx on like as a guest, and they asked her, okay, what part of the sandwich are you? And she was like, oh, I can be the mayonnaise. And Schlatt's like, fuck you, no you're not. Also, in spirit of Chuckle Sandwich, before we end this, I would just like to ask one question. Would you rather, this is to both of you, would you rather have unlimited bacon or no games, or games, unlimited games, but no games?
I assume you mean, I already know the answer. You gave that as an example. I knew it was. It's so easy. Unlimited games, no bacon, because
that's
I can
not
live
the
without
fucking
bacon.
question. The question was, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games but no games? Bacon's not part of the second. Bacon's not part of the second option.
What? I thought you misspoke. That
no,
makes no
you've not
sense
seen Chuckle Sandwich? That's a bit. It's the whole bit.
I've never seen it.
Watch the clip of Jay Schlatt asking that question to Moist Critical. It's the funniest shit because they just lose their shit trying to figure out what he means.
Hey guys, it's me, Moist Critical. I'm in an anime dub now.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical.
Hey everyone, just wanted you to know, this situation's very serious. So
Makes
serious
my cock
that I'm,
tingle. It's the shittest thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
I'm standing in front of a camera, as I always am. Have you seen my room? Please look at my room.
This situation's a real stinker. It's a real barn burner, this one.
I miss his red line poster, I'll say that.
I love Critical. I've been watching him for years. I watched him back when he used to do, like, he used to play video games and, like, talk over them with a really shitty microphone. He played, like, Octodad and, like, all this. His first big one was Q-Wop. Remember Q-Wop?
Yeah, I do.
He was talking over that one, and that actually got picked up by Ray William Johnson. That's how long he's been doing videos.
I think it's funny that I had never heard of Critical once, and then he started doing the videos where he showed himself on camera, and all of a sudden he was everywhere.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like, he started doing different videos than he normally did, and then he got super famous. Like, I'm happy for him.
And then, like, I heard people talk about having memories of him before. Like, he used to have, like, a hoodie avatar or something, and we didn't know what he looked like, and it's like... And I'm sitting here like... I thought this guy was like Germa, and he came out of the Aether.
Okay.
Because, like, I thought Germa... I thought Germa was recent too, and I find out he's just as old.
No, he's been around for a while. I remember watching, he used to do these videos where he has like a grandpa voice, and he was like pretending to be Germa's grandpa, like playing games. He's like, "Hello everyone, it's me, Germa's grandfather. We're playing Minecraft today." Like, it's really funny.
But yeah, I think we should do the end part of the video, like where we say the end, where we like, you know, we sign off.
Yeah.
And then after we do that, we will synchronize the ending.
Yeah, just in case. Just in case.
Yeah. Sounds right.
All right.
So yeah, thank you all for listening. This next part's for me mainly for the editing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was recorded October 22nd, 2023. And I'm just throwing that out there. I will be putting the date out there in general for the future. So
that's what you said that at the beginning.
I'm sorry?
You said it at the beginning. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I said it at the beginning, and I'm saying it again 3 hours later, just in case.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're
Bye. Fine. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good time.
Care.
Have a great...
And remember,
sorry.
May your heart be your guiding key.
And also, that too. I was going to say something
Tally-ho!
Trying to say... Fuck, just cut it out. Just cut it. Just cut it.
I want you to know for the final edit, I'm going to cut you off when you say cut it. Like,
no,
yeah,
please,
I
please
think
do.
that's so funny.
Please do.
But so yeah, on the count of three, we're all gonna say end.
Yeah,
if that's all right.
And then stop our recording on our end.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
End.